They are all blue collar employees. So all these activities can help you in adding value from HR. But this company is concerned, if you don't be aware of the labor law, if you don't know how to implement it, you will have a big havoc like this. In Manesar, what happened? The HR guy has been killed. Half a dozen people, bone has been broken. 1.5 year, the industry was closed down. They lost the brand image. They lost the marketing. They lost sales. So have you done all these activities in Manesar? That would not be enough. I'm not saying that's not needed for Manesar, but large scale organizations. You guys, especially this kind of generation, you are tend to forget that kind of organization. They are still 45 to 55% that kind of organization. All pharma industries, take for example, large scale of people. All car manufacturing like Honda and all. Go to Osur, go to TVS and all. Go to Ashok Leyland, large scale of people. So those people are called, blue collar workers are called, in labor law terms, they are called workman. Understand? They are not called employee. They are called workman. Okay. Now, if I say workman, what is the definition of workman? Which I know many people are not clear. So that's why I thought I want to make it very simple, crystal clear to you guys. Labor law is concerned with taking care of workmen so that they don't get into unnecessary industrial strike, disturbing the peace and disturbing the productivity. So you meant to say that who is workman? Now, if you say Manesar, there could have been 2,000 employees. But in the out of 2,000 employees, there were say roughly 1,000 people are workman. Another 1,000 would have been your VP, marketing, accounts guy, this guy, that guy. Those guys didn't go on strike. Who went on strike is the so-called workman. Clear? So you have to remember the word labor law is applicable to workman only. Workman can be called blue labor, blue collar, not white collar. Let's be very clear about it. People always try to forget when they do it. Okay, having said that, who is workman? What is the definition of workman? In Manesar, I said maybe 2,000 employees are working. Some are dozen people in HR, dozen people in our marketing. Now, marketing also, lot many guys are working, 500 people, production operation. Also in the production plant, maybe 500 people, pitter, turner, electrician, machinist, on permanent basis as well as on a contract basis. So these people are. So here workman comes in Manesar, those people working in the plant, either as an electrician or a fitter or a machinist or an oilman, either on permanent basis or on a contract basis or on a temporary basis. All those guys are called workmen, number one. Okay. Now the number two, the Supreme Court has given a judgment. This definition itself has gone up to Supreme Court. Who is a workman? So the Supreme Court has given 3 judgments. One is that workmen would essentially be getting low salary, maybe 15,000 or 20,000. Every year it gets increased. Now obviously 21,000. Previously it used to be 7,000, 10,000. So the one criteria is workman would be getting less salary. Okay. The second criteria is workman will not have any authority. He is not a boss. He cannot sanction leave. He cannot sanction purchase order. He is only implementing what you said. You are seeing that fitter, you will implement it, machinist. So he is simply obeying the commands given by the supervisor. He doesn't have any authority. The definition given by supervisor. These 2 conditions have to be there to become a workman. Okay. Now I don't want to confuse you. There were some very complicated Supreme Court judgment has come. Salary need not be this one. One chief engineer of one factory, he went up to Supreme Court. I was getting ₹1,00,000, but still I'm a workman. Supreme Court decided, yes, he's a workman. Very complicated judgment. Why he said, oh, you must have paid high salary, but this guy was not teethless. He didn't have any power. So since coming by the second one, he comes into workman. So anyhow, you don't have to get into that kind of complication that people like us, very senior advocate, we need to get about. For you, workman means that's it. In Manesar, workman means this one. Are you clear with that? Labor law is applicable to workman only. Workman definition you should know too. Okay. Workman in this case is more on by and large, those who are working. Why I'm not telling marketing guys? Manesar must have also had a marketing guy. They all must have been assistant manager, deputy manager, all those kind of getting big salary. Hence, they will not come in. Okay. Now, when you come to workman, there are 5 classifications. Okay. There are also people normally make a big mistakes. The first classification is I've taken a fitter, ITI or whatever, or without him. I taken him on probation. Okay. He comes on the probation. So write down the 5 classification of workman. One is probation. One workman is called probation. Okay. He comes on probation, meaning by you are keeping him on probation for 6 months and afterwards immediately confirm him. Or you throw him out. You have the right to throw him out. Or you extend him by another 6 months in writing. And then after the extension period over, either you throw him out or confirm him. Our people, they don't do that. You know, people will continue. They think that I have not confirmed him. You know, 2-3 years, this guy is on probation, according to me, according to my colleague, he is HR director. According to us, we have not confirmed in writing as if we are the big, you know, Supreme Court judge or a governor of India. You know, we will freeze him there. But that guy has already become permanent by law. So that becomes one source of dispute. One, right? Then the guy who becomes permanent becomes a second category. Probation becomes permanent. Okay, second. The third is temporary. Temporary workman. What do you mean by temporary workman? No, the fourth is contractor. Don't jump. This again, people create a lot of. See, now he said temporary is contract. There's nothing like temporary is equal to contract. Who is temporary? Temporary, as the word said, you are all right. As the word said, temporary means temporary period. The word, please understand, I will give you with all Supreme Court judge background, judgment background. Everywhere there's a big twist and complication. Temporary in a normal sense means temporary. 3 months, 6 months. Suppose my 500 people are working inside the plant in Manesar. I'm due to some Thandaras is coming. I have to produce more cars. So I need some extra worker to work for the 3 months. So for extra worker, for extra work, for the temporary period, I can hire people. Yeah. But that condition, again, we make a mistake. Hire that guy, give a letter. I'm hiring you temporarily for 3 months for temporary pressure of work to produce car for Thandaras. And then your job will come to an automatic end. After the period of the word is, will come to an automatic end after 3 months of time, 6 months of time. Then no dispute. We will not do. What we will do is that we will put him on temporary, we'll see for 3 years. And again, we'll say that we have not confirmed that guy. He's on temporary. So we are only creating all the dispute, not the employee. The second category. The third category. The fourth is contract. What the hell is contract? Yeah. We already talked about temporary. Where the hell is contract is coming from? What is the difference between temporary and contract? Where is the difference between temporary and contract? Okay, again, sorry. Temporary, once I said temporary, 3 months, I can also have a temporary people for 5 years. I am only cutting my own point. How, tell me? He says after 3 months, again, keep on reminding. That is called unfair labor practices. Again, you are only committing mistake. By doing this kind of things, you know, okay, I'll keep that guy 5 years. I'm saying legally I'm allowed to keep 5 years. But what the answer? Nice guy said my HR director, he's HR director for today. Okay. Huh?
Sir, contract involves a third party recruitment now, sir. Through a third party, I'm handling. I'm not directly.
No, let me complete my temporary definition, then I'll come to the contract.
Okay,
the temporary, I said temporary. I said I can also keep the guy for 5 years. But he says, no, I'll keep on extending the temporary appointment letter. That comes unfair labor practices. Again, you are creating a scope for dispute. In all the 3 levels, you are only creating scope for dispute, not the employee. By not confirming the probation in time, or not keeping the automatic end class of temporary, you are only creating all the scope for dispute, not the employee. Employee need not be blamed. Only you are to be blamed because you are not aware. You are a fool. Okay. Now, temporary, you can keep 5 years, provided you have a justified reason. Like, for example, somebody met with an accident, temporarily disabled. That guy is likely to recover only in 3 years or 4 years. I have the right to appoint. Mr. X is disabled. He is likely to come out 5 years. The post is vacated by him. Your job is temporary for 5 years or earlier as long as he comes and report. See, law is nothing but common sense, logical, no cheating, no malified intention, no unfair labor practice. The moment any guy, HR, labor law expert guy gets into that, no strike can beat you. I mean, otherwise you are in a nightmare. So you can also have a temporary if you that. Like, for example, most of the university, they have a sabbatical. Faculty can take 5 years leave to go abroad to do a PhD. I'm going on a sabbatical. My post is there. Nobody can take away my post. So after 5 years, I'll come back and join my post. That is called sabbatical leave. So in the industry also, somebody met with an accident, that post is reserved for that guy who will come back. So as long as your recording documentation is done very well correctly, then you can have a temporary for a long time. In everywhere, remember the word, those guys who are getting into your wording has to be absolutely correct. Your service come to an automatic end. This post is created temporarily because of this guy, or this post temporary 3 months because of the pressure of work. So we are clear about probation, permanency, and temporary. We are all talking today only about workman. Till 12:30, nothing should come into your head. Okay. Right? Okay, don't get into that. All of us are workmen today. Okay. Yeah, ask. Temporary accident in the factory. Yeah. You cannot do that. This guy is a very complicated guy. He says, is there any solution you can make? I can make 100 people temporary for 5 years. No. You can make 100 people temporary only for 3 months or 6 months, saying that Diwali is coming or production is coming or some COVID has come, I have to produce more. You have to give a reason for it. But if you want to create 100 people, I can't answer this question. Maybe in COVID period, you can do that also. But the logic is, you got your point. The logic has to be clear and the logic has to be brought in document so that the communication is very clear. And then you act upon the words clearly. You think that, employee, I have appointed probation. I have not confirmed it for 3 years. It has already been confirmed. I have given him temporary. 5 years I've seen big pharma companies. People say, sorry, he's working on temporary train. What the hell? And that too, sorry, please excuse me, the Guju companies, no? They think that I've not confirmed people for 10 years temporary means that I am the boss. He has already become your boss. Temporary workman has already become your boss. You already passed on to that guy. Okay, that is third. Why I'm telling the background, where is the scope for creating industrial strike, dispute? These are the scopes. Who the hell is accountable? Employee? We are only, right? Third. Fourth is contract. This is the worst part of it. You should study thoroughly. 70% of the strike is, madam is laughing, right? 70% of the strike is due to contract labor management. Okay. Now, first of all, what is contract labor? Like he said, we always mix up temporary and contract. Okay, somebody online was trying to say something about contract labor. Please come.
Yes, sir. This is a labor taken through a third party. Right. The contract will be between the organization and the third party supplier who supplies manpower. So the ownership will be on him.
Implication? What is the implication?
The ownership of maintaining this labor will be with the contract, not with the owner company.
Okay, very good. Good point. Yeah. Like there's a proverb. You cross off the well. What will happen? Either you have to jump complete well or stand here. You try to cross off, you'll go down. This is what with the contract labor. What he said is correct. Contract labor are normally engaged by a contractor. We appoint a contractor. That contractor brings in people. So contract employee, he comes into work in that. Okay, that is the practical one. Now, there are 3-4 things you have to understand. Where you can use contract labor. The law says nothing can go against the law. For example, minimum wage is 20,000 in Bangalore. Working in any security guard or anywhere or shops and establishment, the minimum wage issued by the government of Karnataka is 20,000. I cannot pay less than that. That's a law. Poor guy, they come. Sir, forget about the law. You give me 15,000. Give me a stamp paper appointment. I'll sign and accept. Okay, I'll sign and accept. Who the hell is act and all? Between you and me, na? You pay me 15,000, put my appointment in a stamp paper, notarize it, sign it and give me. Nobody can come into. Is that agreement valid? No, because which is against the law. No agreement. Even if that guy is sane, matured guy, mentally all right, he signs all that agreement, even then, that kind of agreement is against the law. Anything against the law cannot be implemented. So here also, for example, now you have to understand contract labor. First point he said is very clear. Contract labor is appointed by a contractor. Suppose I run TVS. I appoint 5-6 contractors. Okay. And those contractors procure people and they supply to me. This is a system now. Okay. I appoint a contractor, contract procures people, and the contractor supplies people to me who comes and works inside. This is a system. Now here the name is called, I am principal employer, contractor is a second employer. First of all, you have to be clear with that. Principal employer is not contractor. Principal employer is me. Second employer is contract. Supreme Court judgment said already, principal employer is liable for everything, not the contractor. So contractor can get away by getting his commission and everything. He will not go to jail. He will not pay the penalty. You have to pay the jail and penalty, civil and criminal. So be clear, principal employer, principal employer. Some of the words legally, please don't forget it. Okay, your company people, you can really help them out. So they think in a nightmare, oh, it's not my job, the contract. No, forget about the hell. Law says you are responsible. You have a modus operandi of working through contractor using you are allowed. Normally, contract labor is not encouraged by the government of India. The act itself is called Contract Labor Abolition and Regulation Act. Meaning by, we don't want contract labor. The Contract Labor Act says, first the word says Abolition and Regulation Act of 1972. Meaning by, we don't want hell, you guys are using contract labor. We don't want it, but we cannot help it. So we are trying to regulate you guys through the nose. We tighten your nose so that you don't misuse it. You don't get into unfair labor. That is the background of lot of dispute and strike. 70% is due to this act only. In the whole India, I did a lot of research and survey on that. Now, where the contract employed to be used? That's another big dispute. Like take Manesher case, you have a what is called, write down, core process activity, core process operational activity. What is core process operational activity? Raw material comes in, right? Core started, get into the plant, car manufacturing plant. The people are all working inside the plant. Car is getting finished it and going to go down. All this is called core operational process activity. Are you clear? Here you are not allowed to use contract labor. Here you are not allowed to use contract labor. But we use. We use not for short time, we use for a long time. So again, we are creating a big issue. The next question, where contract labor can be used? Contract labor can be used in a peripheral job. Security guard, gardening, canteen, infrastructure cleaning. Are you getting it clear? Contract labor cannot be used. Temporary worker can be used in the process. Contract worker cannot be used in the process, core job. Contract worker can be used only in the peripheral area, which could be canteen, which could be security guard, which could be gardening, which could be infrastructure development, whatever, not in that. We will all use that one. Third, okay. See, now I'm trying to tell you where the hell this strike is taking. Okay, third. Now, so, the other thing is, what kind of salary you'll pay to the contract level? Suppose he's an unskilled. And there is another classification. You remember unskilled, semi-skilled, skilled, highly skilled. Okay, the salary goes like unskilled, semi-skilled, skilled, highly skilled. Okay, now most of the contract employer, temporary people are mostly unskilled. Okay, suppose the unskilled salary of a workman is set 20,000. Okay, and you will say contract employee will pay 12,000. Suppose he's a contractor, I'll pay to that guy, pay to all your employees 12,000. I'll pay you 10% commission for handling agency. And this we will do in agreement also, in writing also. I don't know how many fools are there in India. I mean, you cannot do that. You are doing something wrong, and that do in writing openly. What it's called? Non-awareness, blind leading the blind. The leader is blind and everybody is blind. So now what we do is we will sign an agreement with the contractor. You will supply people. I'll pay each employee 12,000 rupees or 15,000 rupees. Whereas minimum salary talks about 20,000, and I will pay you 15% commission rate. The deal is over, which is totally wrong. You are allowed to use contract labor wherever he can be used in a peripheral, but you are supposed to pay the minimum salary. There cannot be any discrimination under the fundamental right. Labor law is governed very vastly. There are 44 labor laws, On the top of it, there is Indian fundamental right. There's a state policy. There's a constitutional law. They can take anywhere shelter. If your mind is very sharp, you are very clear, at the end, I'll tell you, it's very easy to run. But you guys get into more complicated because you have been made to work in a complicated, confused state of mind. If you get into simple state of mind, pick a strike. I give challenge to association. Any strike, please take. I'll see that. Okay, now come back to the contract labor. Contract labor is basically you cannot use anywhere. You can use, but you have to pay the minimum salary. You have to use the periphery. Right? There's no need for it. You can always use through the contractor. Nothing wrong in it. But you cannot say it is his hell. I will pay less. Principal employer, you. Anything that guy is not complying, the liability of civil, criminal comes to me, not to him. So this fourth level of it. This more dispute happens in play. This basically therefore there is the fifth one is substitute. Substitute means like almost like a temporary. Whenever there is a major absentee, substitute. Okay, this is the background of the workman background. Now, quickly go through your mobile. What kind of strikes? How many hours last 1 or 2 years? How many strikes, industrial unrest took place, and how many hours you lost 1 or 2 years productivity in the world? Just go through. Peripheral. Not legal. You can do anything. Like even you have made a contract labor through contractor. There's an agreement. It's an outsourcing, right? When you're supplying labor or you supply outsource the work itself. So you can do some erection you are doing place, some expansion you are doing place. That can be outsourced. Very good question. That can be outsourced to a contractor as a contract job. You're getting my point. But not the day-to-day process working. Raw material comes, car is getting manufactured, car is getting dispatched to the godown. He cannot come inside. You got my point. We are good in complicating, confusing things. But I'll tell you, once you are clear about where you are right and wrong, then I'll teach you, which I'm not supposed to teach you, how to excel in manipulating and not get into act. That is the biggest lesson. Okay. For that, you should be aware of the labor law. You should be aware of the issues. Then you know I'm in trouble, but I will do in such a way I don't get caught. That process you cannot reach unless you go through this process. Without going through this process, this guy jumps into I will man. Okay? Hell, he will get it. Okay. Now the contract labor is very clear. There's one more thing I missed it. Yeah. Apprenticing. Apprenticing means there is an Apprentices Act. Under the Act, each factory will take people, engineers, ITA guys, to work as an apprentice for training purpose. They are not workmen. They get stipend. Apprentices are not workmen. They get only stipend. They don't get minimum salary. So this is the classification of it. Now you go through what kind of strikes took place. Last 1 year, 2 years. How many hours we lost? Online student, just go through, just open yourself. What kind of man days you are losing due to industrial strike? 2 months back, Hyundai, Chennai was in a big level. Big strike. Sorry? Okay. No, recently also see, no? Are we losing heavily on strike, production, industrial unrest? Done? Okay, now you can see it yourself. Now with this kind of strike taking place, industrial strike, lockout, you should know what is legal strike, what is illegal strike. What is legal lockout, what is illegal lockout. Okay, that I'll tell you now. I hope it's going all right, right? The subject is little dry, but I'm trying to make myself, to the extent possible, making it simple. Okay. So you people slept, I didn't sleep. I was thinking how to go and approach. So much syllabus I have. And these guys, I don't know how they are going to receive it. I had sleepless night in thinking how to approach this subject. Okay, now, where are we? Now you've seen the kind of losses we are making. Even recently, Hyundai last year, 6 months back in Chennai, it was closed for a few months. The workers, they didn't go on strike. Now, if I know that there's a big strike happening, you can call it strike, industrial unrest, disturbance, whatever. Who is responsible? Management, employee, union, outside people. These 4 people could be accountable. Employer means the owner, the MD, and the CEO, the HR guy. Employee means a lot of employee along with the union people. And the 4th is some outsiders like political parties and all, they're instigating problem for them. Who is mainly accountable for creating this strike? What percentage? All the 4 you have to give out of 100. What percentage you will allocate to employee and union? The strike, the cause of action for the strike, industrial unrest. That is where you have to start now, like go by the diagnosis part of it. Why the hell it's happening? Can't I prevent it? Can I prevent the strike? To what percentage? I can prevent it percentage if I know how to prevent it, right? Now, first of all, who is accountable? Somebody is accountable, right? Employee union one side, management, MD, CEO, HR guy one side, some external party one side. Out of 100%, who the hell has to be given a capital punishment for creating this labor strike? Management 40%, 50%. Okay, he says management 50%. Any comments? Do you agree? Percentage I want. I made it very simple to you guys, right? My English is simple, right? Not complicated. I want percentage. I'm a researcher. Union 40, employee 50, external. So you people, this guy always he fix my style, not depends, remaining external and all those. Do you, all of you agree with this thing or no? Or employees more? Employees more. Then come out now. Why are you hesitate? You are afraid of this guy. We are not having industrial strike here, right? Employees more?
Yeah, employers' mistakes are more.
You are also thinking slowly, right? Online student, I want some poll.
Employer mistakes are 50%.
Okay. So one guy says employer 50, 52, 3 of them. One our friend, he doesn't want to come, but he says more on employee and the external. Okay, I'll answer the question. 70 to 80% is employer. I give a chance. I think I'm intelligent. The employees are more intelligent. They'll make me to make mistakes. Once you make a mistake, my dada, granddada, my Supreme Court judge, my Prime Minister of India cannot help. Because law. Correct. So those guys are so intelligent, they will make me to make mistakes. They'll be so nice. And the plant guys also know, they are also, these guys, permanent guys may not work effectively. These guys work very effectively, sir, compliance and everything will be good. He gets carried away. So they will also not inform the management. They'll allow him to extend. So those employees are so intelligent, they'll make you to commit mistakes. Okay, once you made a mistake, at least after the mistake, you settle it. Now we will ignore afterwards. First of all, you should not have made a mistake. If you made a mistake, admit it, diplomatically get away with it. Suppose when I took charge of one of the very large organization in Ahmedabad, I've seen it, 1,000 contract employees working for 10 years, 11 years, and they were threatening to go on strike. No court can help you. They have all the documents, salary slip, this and that. You sit with them, negotiated with them, huddled with them, and then, okay, I'll make you 10% up you this year. And I'll make an agreement, I'll make you over a period of. So you cajoled them and did it. Okay. So if you don't do that, again, it becomes an issue. So coming back to the question, it is basically employee. We don't do it. Now the other question is, who is more intelligent, more chalu? Employee or union? Huh? Employee or union? Come on here, why are you people afraid of talking? Employee. There are 3 labor unions. They'll pay monthly fees to all the 3 unions. They'll go and blackmail each union. You are not getting better terms. I'll go to this guy. Because he has already paid money to all the 3 unions. This is one of the major issue for a problem which can be created is addressed by the new labor code now. Okay. So you have 3, 4 unions. Anybody can register a union under the Trade Union Act. Any 10 people, 7 people, go and fee some nominal fees to the Labor Commission office can register as far as creation of trade union is concerned. Okay, many people don't do it, but there are 3, 4 guys are there. So this employee will become member of all the 3. And then he will go and blackmail them. Oh, that guy is getting more cycle allowance. This guy is getting me more overtime allowance. You are not getting, I'll go with him. So the union itself is get caught. The union guys are also into that wavering, no? That I need that kind of. So it is basically the union guy. So this is the background of it. So basically the strike taking place due to employee. Basically the employees are too clever and the cause of action for the strike and industrial rest is created by all of us. Okay, now the next, I hope it's going all right, right? I'm not going to the PPT. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing lost. You know, see, no, it means that priority importance will go, na? Mass follower will not, like voting. They have to also survive, right? Yeah, it's their own follower. Now, there's a few more terminology. What is legal strike? What is illegal strike? What is legal lockout? What is illegal lockout? Okay, that's also again, we have to know that. What is legal strike? Strike is a strike, sir. Where is legal and illegal? Correct? Okay. Right. Okay. He has come to the conclusion, but the main point he has given but not punched it. Legal strike means you should have given 14 days notice in writing to the management, saying that these are the issues you are not sorting out. Please sort it out. So within 14 days, the management doesn't give any recognition to that. Then they can go on a strike, which is called legal. The government will support them. Okay. Illegal strike means they have not given any notice. Or already 3 months back, they given the notice, the issue has been sorted out. Again, you are creating another Naam ke vaste strike. Or the third thing, the issue has already been sorted out. You are again creating another issue by second union. So this is all called illegal strike. Right. Now, whenever there is a illegal strike, you have the right to go for legal lockout. Lockout or temporary closure of the unit. Okay. Because you went on an illegal strike. If I lock out without giving a notice, without you are going on a strike or without any giving a genuine reason, some natural calamities happen, something like that, then it is called illegal lockout. Here also the management makes a mistake in not understanding, not documenting, giving enough scope to that guy to go on strike. You should know what is legal, what is illegal, what is lockout and all those. So if you know all those things, you create a document properly and do it. Okay. Now, I'll give you simple 3. Now, then I will come to that act, this labor law case itself. Now, in my experience, only 3 tips on strategy. If you are good at it, no strike can beat you. No industrial, this thing can create problem. Okay. Before that, there are questions for what is collective bargaining, what is bipartite, what is tripartite. I hope you're all taking notes. I hope it is there covered, but still, I'm just going in my own flow. What is collective bargaining? What is bipartite? What is tripartite? Collective bargaining is the union puts a pressure on you to increase the salary, increase the overtime allowance. They come to collectively put pressure on you to come to the table to gain something that is collective bargaining. Collective bargaining only has got 2 nominations. One is bipartite, one is tripartite. What is bipartite? The word itself is bipartite, meaning by 2. Who are the 2? Management and union. If only the collective bargaining is taking place between the management and the labor union or employee, this is called bipartite. What is tripartite? Third party like government. Labor Commission. It's not political parties. It has to be by the government. Labor Commissioner or some central government, state government people involved in that one. Then it is called tripartite. Okay, that concept is clear. Bipartite, collective bargaining, and tripartite. Now, come back to the tips. How can you handle? Should I give the tips? So we go to the Manesher case and then give you the tips. He wants tips first only. Okay, I don't think you will understand the tips so simple. You will not be able to understand that unless we go through this case. Now, are we ready to discuss the case? Online student. I must congratulate all of you. All such a big background you understood in how much time? Half an hour?
Yes, sir.
Correct, nah? I must give you compliments. Huh? Okay. Are we clear now? The background is clear. Because without the background, you cannot understand labor. Okay. Now let's go to the case. What is the case? What is the objective of the case study? I already told you how to analyze the case study. What is the objective of this case study? Today, case study, you are supposed to talk. I'm supposed to listen to you guys. But it doesn't happen. What is the objective of the case study? The case study is that how inappropriately, inefficiently they handle the industrial situation, industrial relations, and the strikes in Manesar automobile unit in Manesar. That is the objective, right? And second thing is, what kind of losses happen for not handling the industrial relations properly? Are we right or not? The objective of the case study is one, that how inappropriately, inefficiently, ineffectively they understood and handled the industrial relations strikes at Manesar. One. Two, what kind of losses we heavily gone through that. Three, what is the learning from that so that in future we don't commit that mistake. Future you don't lose some more people. That is the objective of the case. Are we clear or not clear? I'm doing what you are supposed to do, yeah. Okay, case study. Okay, now what is the facts of the case? What are the facts of the case? Objective is clear, right? Three objectives. The facts of the case, there's a company called Maruti Udyog Limited, which was in Manesar. The place Manesar is somewhere nearer Delhi and Haryana. Okay, demographically, that place has got a lot of local people who are known for more aggressive. The Jats, Haryanvis are known for more aggressive, more hardworking people. They were there in the Maruti Udyog. Two, luckily, their property has become so valuable. You know, it was outskirts long back, 50 years back, since Gurgaon and everything was coming nearer. Each one's property has become so valuable. Everybody could come, the workman can come in a nice car to the factory. Okay, why I'm saying demographically, their expectations, their things go on, multiplied. If you have those days we have uneducated workers, their demands could have been little less. Now, if you have more ITA workers, they know the right much better than anybody else. So Manesar is the location to by and large the nature of the people, the Jats, Gujars in that area, they're supposed to be more aggressive kind of. Third, they all become rich. Though they're workers, but they become rich because of their property and everything else. So this is the demography of the people. Now this company it is run by Japanese, Suzuki. They run this company first 10 years very well. People thought, even I as a professor can teach you, cultural problem. Japanese cannot understand culture. Haryani culture, you cannot understand. They did very well. They have not messed up. Up to 2011, when the Japanese people were running the factory, no issue at all. Academically, theoretically, there should have been more issue. Because the cultural differences. Japanese could not have understood the local. This is what we'll say academically. But there was no issue. Doing very well. 2011, our politician cannot keep quiet. They thought we should get into that one. So then the Japanese said, okay, you get into that, I'll get out. 2011, they got out. Our government, because it's a government stake was there 51 or 49%, whatever. So they said, okay, you have the right, you take over. They left out. And our people got into it, all politicians and the bureaucrats and everything. The problem started in 2 years. Once we took it, the problem started. Okay, this is the fact of it. Now, what is the this is the facts of the case. Now, when they went on strike, what they wanted? You studied, right? They wanted more salary. They wanted more bonus. They wanted more perks. And if you don't pay, we'll go on strike. Okay, this was the strike. Now, what was the reason for that? Where, how you could avoided it? I said, no, you can avoid it. Where do you think that money share management made a mistake?
Sir, involvement of HR and frontline supervisor was lacking.
Acha, in the involvement of employment, HR and supervisor lacking. What you said, the salary structure was different. Okay. Contractor, good point. What else? The case is clear to you, right? They went on strike demanding more salary and more bonus, more this thing, that thing. And finally, when you're not given anything, they killed the VP, HR, and they killed half a dozen people. They closed down the factory. That's the outcome of it. Now, diagnosis, what happened? When I said it could have been avoided by us, not by employee, where the hell we made a mistake? That's the learning. That will give you the tips also for lifelong. Where they went wrong. Come on, you guys. Now your role. If I can vomit everything, but then you will not learn. Tell me what went wrong? Involvement of politician, okay. What went wrong? Yeah, you start writing, sir. What went wrong according to you this level? Involvement of politician, madam said one. She said the salary difference between contract and permanent workman, right? Workman. We'll use the word workman, right? She has given two reasons. One is that politician got involved unnecessarily. Two, the salary structure between permanent and contract workmen was not at par. What else? What went? Huh? That's a very generic thing. And we'll always fight for it. What went wrong? What you could have avoided it?
They are not implemented strict compliances.
Okay, they are not right. You're writing now. They are not implemented strict compliance. Third point. What else? What else? That's all.
Like the management did not negotiate.
Okay, negotiation skill was less. Okay, okay. They didn't have a right negotiation skill in the bipartite meeting or whatever meeting you call it. Okay. Fourth. Okay, he said complaint. You said the contract employee law. Okay. He said whatever contract labor act terms not complied. Good point. Come on. 2 points has come out very good so far. Come on, guys. What could have went wrong? We all, when we sit outside, we give a lot of ideas, no? Seeing something. Oh, yeah, I say we could have done that. Right now, I'm giving a chance. Now you talk. Huh? Sorry? Okay. The collective bargaining was not efficient. He says the collective bargaining was not conducted efficiently. Okay. What else? Come on, you list down the points. No? Then only you'll be able to learn. Okay. Cultural issues created by politicians. Okay. Culture. Yeah, that's also one reason. Cultural issues created by the politicians. Okay. What else?
Lack of trust and transfer.
It's a very general word. Everywhere there's no lack of trust but transfer. Okay, he says influence of ex-employee, right? Influence of ex-employee. List down as many as points. That's a gist of the case, right? That is a learning. If you avoid all those things, future this can be avoided, right? If you understand this case thoroughly and the background I've given you, background I'm going to give you labor code, you can be an expert in industrial, I can tell you. The guys with 20 years will not have that kind of knowledge and approach and skill which you will have, provided you listen and digest it. Okay, the salary structure was not competitive. Yeah, there's no end to that. But again, you write down salary competitiveness. Right? Anybody happy with salary? All of you? Nobody. All of you, none of you are happy with their salary, right? That's all. You are not happy with salary, I'm not happy with your contribution. It goes on like that, right? I'll always come with, no, you're not contributed. You've done well, but there's a lot of scope for it. That is how I'll talk. I means the other side. Okay, what else? What else?
So the understanding between the management and the laborers.
Okay, understanding or openness between the management and employee. Okay, right, sir. That point also right. Openness and the understanding. What else?
Sir, timely intervention of government should have avoided many damages.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Not timely intervention by the government.
Yeah.
Good point. What else? What else, sir? Huh? Okay, ineffective communication. Ineffective communication about the policies with the employee and the management. What else? Disrespectful to cultural we have taken, no? Very good point. The smoke was there, management could not understand the smoke. Good point. I mean, somewhere it started, na, here and there. Your intelligentsia was failure. What else? No, the permanent supervisor is very happy with contract. They are the one who are effective in working. Permanent workers, they cannot control. What else?
So overworked employees.
Sorry? Workload more.
Oh, yeah, workload. Yes.
Okay, workload more. What else? Come on, this is a gist of the case study. Any other point, or I'll go by examining one by one of your point, and I'll tell you simply only 2 points responsible for the whole strike. Enough? All of you exhausted with your ideas? Huh? Sir? Come on, sir. Tell me what was the point. Read. First point. Salary difference between permanent and contractor. If it is there, write down another reason. Madam, you write down the other. He will write. Non-compliance. First point is relating to non-compliance. Non-compliance means contract labor should get same salary like a permanent employee, right? If you're non-complying, right, it goes. Second point. Same point, compliance. 3. Collective bargaining was not efficient. Here, collective bargaining efficient for what? For giving more salary, more bonus? When you say collective bargaining not efficient, they suppose you paid 20% bonus. They want 28% bonus. What the hell you will do in collective bargaining? They'll go on strike, pay 28%, other will shoot you, I'll do this thing, that thing. They can do all those things, right? So where is collective bargaining? Because third point also, you have not here over compliance. Right now, over compliance is a danger. No compliance is a danger. Now, what do you mean by over compliance? What do you mean by no compliance? You'll get a lot of twisting from me. Don't worry, because I didn't sleep for you guys, right? You all slept very well. Huh? What is over compliance? What is low? I said compliance. I said over compliance. I said low compliance. No compliance. Right. That's over compliance. In this case, what they did now? Bonus Act says 8.33% is the minimum bonus to be complied. The whole till 3 o'clock, you remember only one word compliance, right? Compliance. You are through. No strike. Nobody can beat you. One mantra, which this guy was trying to take me from me, tips, is compliance, compliance, compliance. No over compliance, no low compliance. Do it, no bloody can touch you. That's a single tips and strategy. Otherwise, you cannot do anything. You are at their mercy. Now coming back to this one, Bonus Act says 8.33% is the minimum bonus. Okay, Bonus Act says maximum bonus is 20%. Right? Which means what you have to comply? When your company is sick, financially unwell, also you have to pay 8.33. You cannot say that my company is sick, financially unviable, I'm already bankrupted. No, you have to pay. If you don't pay, no complaints. And if company made a lot of windfall profit and everything, workers want you to pay 30% bonus. You don't have any duty to pay that guy 30%. You can say, I will pay only 20%. I will not pay even 1% more. You have all the right to say. You have all the right to say that 20% only I will pay. Okay, number one. Here I can tell you my own example of one story. In Punjab, I was heading one of the big complex, agro complex. Unfortunately, I had all challenges God has given to me. I had 3 Bihar Union, UP Union, Punjab Union. 3,000 workmen combined by all the 3 complicated union in India. Punjabi Communist Union, Biharis are very old political people, UP, all the 3 union people. They went on strike asking for bonus at the rate of 25%. Okay, we have paid last 2-3 years 20%. The company, agro company, doing very well. They went on strike, extreme winter, very cold, you can't even see outside. They went on strike. I told my board of directors, I was one of the directors, I told my board of directors, very good opportunity to crush these guys. But you lose few days. They'll go on strike there and there. If you don't crush them, then they will have upper hand throughout in your life. So first of all, I have to convince the top manager. They said, I'll take up everything, but you people don't disturb me for a week or 10 days. I will ruthlessly teach them this guy lesson. They said, management said, go ahead. So they come to me, all one by union, second union saying that this and that. I said, nothing, I will not. I will not give even 1 paise more than 20%. 20% is your right. My financial record says 20% you are eligible, I'll pay you. Went on strike. Winter, foggy weather, the severing weather also, they are having Murdabad, Zindabad, the IIT Bhaskar and Murdabad, all those things went on for 3-4 days, all those kind of things. I went and given an application to the district collector, the SSP police and the labor commissioner, saying that these guys are going on illegal strike, asking for illegal thing. If any law and order situation takes place, anybody dies, you as collector, you are accountable. You as police officer, you are accountable. I'm not accountable. The moment I fixed it, then there is a competition between intellectual guys. Bhaskar on one side, IIT and IAS guy, IPS guys. They all got to know this guy is playing a nice game. Okay, I fixed these guys thoroughly. You take care of it. And any death happens to Miss Pegani, you are accountable as a collector. They put immediately full police force. Because they made it sure that anything goes come, they will be accountable. District collector and the labor commissioner and then SSP. I said, let the labor commissioner come and tell me in writing that I have to pay more than 20%, I'll pay. Labor commissioner cannot give in writing, right? He cannot give. So it went on for 3 days, 4 days, strike and all. And we had a nice thing. We used to have a big 500 acres of campus. We all used to have a nice big bungalows like this lawn and all. Winter, we had fire barn, we had whiskey, we had all tandoori chicken. We were enjoying. They were doing all strikes. High, no tension, nothing. They had tension. We had fun. No working. Plant is shut down. Extreme winter. Nice to have a whiskey with a fire farm and chicken and all those kind of. We were enjoying with the top. 3 days, 4 days it went on. And the police is there to take care of it. 5th day, winter, they surrendered. Then they said, we surrender it. I said, you surrender it. Again, they said, come to me. Then they did a icing. Please give us 1%, the union guys. I will not give an 0.5%. I will give you some other benefit, which is legal, which is pending. Like, for example, many people working as a fitter, he was getting like a oilman salary. He was not getting a skilled salary. He was getting all such legal things. I'll clear it today. But bonus, I will not give 1 paise more. Succeeded. Okay. Now, what is the learning from this thing? What did I gain that? I did compliance properly. The act says minimum is 8.33. Apart from the story, listen the principle. Maximum is 20. But if you make a failure of paying more once, the precedence will become a law for future. That's what happened at the Manesha. Once I admitted giving 22%, then I changed the law, bonus law, to higher level by precedence. Like for example, take Marriage Act. Hindu Marriage Act, you cannot marry relatives, right? Which is not a legal marriage, it's a void marriage. South India takes place. Mamas and attais and all those things will do it. Very easily they will do it. As for the Hindu Marriage Act, which is a big sin, legally wrong, scientifically wrong. Okay. But the Act, Hindu Marriage Act accepted this by tradition happening for many years. So we'll accept it's a law as far as South India is concerned. But North Indian cannot marry. They'll go to 7 years jail. Only South Indian can have that luxury. Okay, I'm also South Indian, don't worry. Okay, but I went and married a North Indian. So, I married a tough Jat Sardarini. Okay, guys, come back. Now, the moral of the story here is that the act says, by mistake, you committed to pay more bonus. By mistake, you committed to pay more minimum salary. The salary is fixed by, who is fixing the salary? Government issue notification, minimum salary this much, or once in 3 years, the labor union and you settle on an agreement. The salary is fixed at 3 levels. One is the government gives a notification. Third is between you and management. Once in 3 years, you have a bipartite collective bargaining. There it is agreed. You pay that. Or there is a wage board for the whole India. Jute industry, sugar industry, electrical industry, textile industry. For the whole over India, once in 3 years, the wage board gives a salary structure. You jolly well comply pin to pin like that. Don't even add 1 rupee more, 1 rupee less. Whatever law it comes. So what happened here is, these guys, people, initially they increased more than the minimum salary fixed by the government. They given bonus more than 20%. Went on for 4 or 5 years, 20% to 25%, 28% minimum salary instead of 25,000 to 40,000. The company was doing very well. Politician, they wanted to take care of the local people. So they take popularity. Then they made a mistake of whatever not required to be complied as per law, for by foolish precedence of implementing, that has become a law. Now, these people, they want more. We want 40% bonus. We want 50,000 minimum salary. What will you do? The way I gone to Labor Commission and SSP, you cannot go. Because they will put you in jail. Suppose in this case, I go to Labor Commissioner and SSP. They are too smart guys. The IAS, IPS, not too smart guys. You have to really be riding on them. Otherwise, they'll ride on you. In that case, I ride at them. If I was in this situation, I gone with the same letter to them, they'll immediately arrest me. Saying that you bloody made a mistake and now you're creating law and order situation, I'll arrest you first. Are you getting my point? So here, it is you made a mistake of over compliance. You paid more salary, you paid more bonus, and you made a law by yourself. Now you say, I will not comply. Gone. That point covered, sir. What is the fourth point? All your point will come to 2, 3. Culture is nothing here. I mean, when Japanese come and handle it, 10 years, no issue. All those things. Basically, you yielded to the pressure, right? Why did you yield to the pressure? Fourth. Yeah. No. His question is, hello, listen to him. His question is that minimum was 8.33, maximum is 20. In between, it goes on, right? Sometime 14, 15, depending upon the financial performance of the company. That is law. It can go to 14, 15, it can come back to 13, it can come back to 8.33. It is called set on, set up. Through a financial record, you have to set on, set up. Even 1 year loss also, you can set on. Okay, next year I make profit. So this year I'm going to make you a bonus of 14%, though I have to pay you only 12%. but I'm setting it on for next year profit. Law has given you that much scope, but law doesn't give you scope, go beyond 20. Gone, you are gone. Minimum, not only minimum, he can negotiate, he has got the legal right to negotiate you to even 100%. Administration will not come to help you. Getting my point? The moment he paid 21%, that he has got not only 1% more. Throughout your life, he has got the right to demand you even up to 100%, and government will not come to help you, like the way I enjoying whiskey. Because the government had to help me, no? Here, government will rather put you into jail, saying that you made a mistake. So, what else, sir? What else? No timely government intervention. I have not taken care of my house properly. I'm foolishly making, not aware of the labor law. You can write down the word. Not, madam, you can write down the word. Not aware of labor law. Not understanding the labor law. In spirit. Like you guys say, na, when temporary and contract is same. Contract is the contract employers, contract employer. That's not understanding, right? It's all somebody said, it's going on. Like I said, off the well you are crossing. If you cross off the well, you will go inside only. So not having a full knowledge, understanding of the labor law. That is one reason for your strike. Second thing is not complying. Over complying, less complying. What else? Which is very peripheral kind of points. Management the fool, na? Right? Now, what is this case study? Simple, right? I told you the tips. That's why this guy said tips, give me tips, I cannot give you, will not understand. Now you understand tips. What is the tips to avoid all the strike? Don't like a finance guy, accounts guy. I had a Srinivasan, there's one CFO here. I was working with my colleague. That guy was a finance director, CFO. He was not loyal to the owner, not loyal to HR director, loyal to his own profession. Law means law, he will comply. He will not allow due diligence. Ruthlessly, people will be unhappy with him. He said, hell with you people. I will comply financially. What company law says, what says. People used to get sick of that guy. The sight of him only. You know that he will irritate. He will, the way he will speak also very abruptly. No, it's as per company law. Company secretary, it's not allowed. I'll not give. Even the owners have to be careful with that. But finally, he won. He will win. Because he said, I am professional. Like, for example, once I had to tell you this, you may get a little problem, maybe right. See, I had once an issue with him. We were working a group of company. One company where 4,000 female workers were working. Okay. And mostly they were coming on temporary contract and going. Okay, that company. They were into liquor manufacturing, bottling plants here and down. So that the management was saving 5 crore rupees, I'm talking about 10 years back, 5 crore rupees per annum only by non-compliance of not paying minimum salary. Are you getting my point? Non-compliance of not paying minimum salary to the tune of 5 crore rupees. Okay. And that company was surveying only on that. The salary saving or some buying the second-hand bottle or buying the cheap label, all that kind of, that company model was like that. Srinivas said, no, I will not. Because this compliance is an issue, people are not complying, due diligence. Okay, he was crying. In between, this news went out to the market. Not only we, the similar business units, it happened in Mysuru. These guys are doing, so it went to the level, the government got involved. One day, the government sent a complete full bus up, labor commissioner, politician, local people, local adalat, all those people to come and check. Unfortunately, our intelligence was correct. You know, these people are coming tomorrow, whole people. Now, how will you handle it? You are not paying minimum salary on record. How will you do it? Now, this is another strategy which is illegal, unethical, but you should know how to manage non-compliance in such a manner you don't give problem to the company. Are you getting my point? How do you do that? How have you done this one? What document you will do? He will come into the state time office. One full bus, labor commissioner, assistant commissioner, MLA, everybody is come. Because this has become a Karnataka issue. Whole Karnataka issue. So what they will do? They are going, that time they will not help you because otherwise we have been managing the labor commissioner, labor inspector, everybody knows. But now the public comes, how will you manage? Either you surrender and pay back last 5 years with big penalty and close down the business, or you manage it carefully. How will you manage it? Can you manage it? How will you do that in records? Not the employees, the other guy who comes and checks. Nah. Employees are with you. One fortune line with this one, most of the employees are very happy because very happy for two reasons. Our guys, there was to a Selvaraj, general manager production. He is too friendly with the people. He used to operate 5-10 buses. He will go early in morning, the buses to pick them in villages, 6-7 o'clock. He will say, just brush your teeth, come in a nice dress. Come have a nice sumptuous breakfast. You don't have to cook. Then go to work. Have an excellent lunch. Work. Evening you'll have a nice snacks and carry snacks. Go home and sleep. That is the comfort he is given to them. What my point? And those people are too happy. There is no headache now from that point of view. They have to all that is get up, get ready, got into the bus, come here to have their coffee, tea, tiffin, everything. Nice lunch, whatever they want. Evening, nice snacks and carry snacks for the children. So through this way, Selvaraj managed them very well. If anybody will come and ask them, they will say, no, we are getting all the benefits. They will not say. So that part is taken. Now the record part, how will you do? You have to pay each one, say, that time 10,000. You are paying 5,000. Non-compliance of 5,000 per month for 1,000 people or 2,000 people. Okay, you can add another 1,000 rupees. You can say, I'm giving them food, this and that. That cost is another 1,000. Still 4,000 rupees you are not paying. How will you justify? How will you justify? If you're really intelligent, you can tell. Otherwise, you can't. Anybody tells intelligent, I'll give you 10,000. Anybody answers, I'll give you 10,000. Very, very jugaad, very effective, very legal solution. Illegal, but legal solution. That only people like Surud guy can do that. You are not allowed legally. He attempted a good guy, this guy. He said, we will show, sir, we show on record 10,000. We'll say we deducted 4,000, which will be paid later. As per the Payment of Wages Act, all the salary has to be paid before 7th. Yeah, I can say, yes, you are eligible. I was about to say. Right? I said legal solution. Unethical, illegal, legal solution. Correct? Challenging yourself. Tell me, online student. Any answer?
Like maybe they were saying that they were paying by cash.
Yeah.
And employee were very happy. So probably they managed to convince employees to do the same statement.
So employee didn't have any problem. Only the law implementing authorities got a problem.
So no, I mean out of records, not on paper, but maybe they said that they were paying the rest by cash.
Cash also, you are not paid to pay cash now without getting a receipt or anything. Then it should be reflected in your book, right? It's a private limited company. Again, if you do it, it's illegal. You'll get Income Tax Act. Right? This guy has put us into Payment of Wages Act. Your suggestion will put us into Income Tax Act. You cannot pay anybody without paying through the accounts. You can pay cash. But the cash also to be booked in the accounts book, right? Not like a number 2 money we call.
Maybe the money or money equivalent. Maybe the
This
facilities.
guy again coming nearer. He says, for 1,000 employees are working, I will try and show only 600 employees are. Remaining 400 people you are paying salary through accounts. Where will you show that? You are getting nearer to that. I know you are attempting for 10,000. I will make sure you don't get. Because then I have to pay. Okay. Again, this guy raised. Another salary definition is not asset. Salary definition under the Payment of Wages Act is salary monetary to be paid on or before 7th of every month. That's why you should know 44 labor laws. A share doesn't come under directly into the money. That's an asset to be shared with you. They'll say, okay, you share your share with them. Employee stock, ESOP we call it, no? Employee stock option, which normally given to white collar, not blue collar. E-stock option. That all you are allowed. That all you can put 1,000, 2,000 rupees. Achha, you cannot pay rent also. If the minimum salary is 5, you cannot say I'm deducting rent of 3,000. Then see, 10,000 was a salary that time. You are paying them 5,000 practically. 1,000 rupees you can probably add saying that I'm giving them food. I can legally also you can do. I'm picking them transport and all I add. That is again dispute. As per the Supreme Court judgment, these perks cannot be included under the definition of salary and wages. Again, that's what I said, na? Knowledge of labor. Okay, to make it short, what we did it simple. So he's a guy targeted guy. Na? His salary was supposed to be 10,000. Minimum I have to pay. On record, I have to show my accounting, salary register should show 10,000 rupees. That is why HR record will be right, owning record will be right. Okay. Now, if I don't pay 4,000, 5,000 cash and all, which is not allowed. Okay. This 10,000 rupees for what? In case of daily wage workman, 10,000 rupees for 26 days working. When you pay 10,000 salary, is it for 30 days or 26 days? How do you collect 1 day salary? Okay. Okay. Now that again, I'll give you another example of where that can. Now coming here, this salary is supposed to be for 26 days. 10,000 divided by 26 per day salary comes to how much? Come on, quickly do. I paid 10,000 divided by 26 comes to how much per day, man? 380. Suppose I paid this guy 5,000. 5,000 divided by 385. Are you getting it or not? I'll show working days only 14 days. Simple answer, right? Legally, I'm right. Correct, madam? Ethically wrong. Legally, I'm right. That's what we did that day. Overnight, we put 2 computers in the time office, HR department, and the accounts department. See all the record from there? Every record says somebody 14 days work, somebody 20 days work, somebody 16 days work. So 10,000 divided by 26 multiplied by number of days working. See the number of clean. Evening we had a nice party, but I was feeling very bad. That company also has got a 5-star hotel, Paul John in the near. You must have heard about them. And they have one the best resort in India today, Kumarakoram Lake Resort. That was also coming. So they said we'll go to Kumarakoram Lake. I said nothing. I did it because to make your business to survive, but legally wrong. You know some. So now you got the point, right? Compliance. Where are we now? Compliance. Now how it makes clear, na? Awareness of labor law. And labor law means not off knowledge. Like he said, salary, I got him salary. He got something out of New Income Tax Act. So you must have a complete integral, like a doctor who goes for a surgery. I mean, he should know the anatomy, physiology, everything very well, right? And the table, the patient is lying for 3-hour surgery. You don't know anatomy, you don't know physiology. You know, I hope all of you know the difference between anatomy. And what medicine can be reactive, and he does a surgery. Patient is gone. So this guy is supposed to be aware of all those things in clear. So that is the requirement of a labor law expert. What else are your written points? My point is simple, 2 points. What is my point? My point is nothing. Awareness of labor law. Aware, read, understand, digest, comply. No over comply, no low compliance. If you do that, 80% of the strike can be avoided. They can go on strike. Let them go. You have your own whiskey. The imported Scotch whiskey you have. Because they cannot beat you. You put the ball in somebody's court. It is the responsibility of a district collector and SSP and the labor commissioner. Deal them, not you. But the moment you make a mistake, precedence, you get into that. So in coming back to this Manesher case, they made this mistake. Single most was this one. They over-complied in terms of salary, in terms of bonus, everything. When they used to have that habit, precedence is set. Again, when they wanted more, that time you said no. That is one reason. What is the second reason for the Manesher case? One is over-compliance, taking a precedence, and when they demanded more, you are not yielding. That's a single, very challenging cause for a strike, where they were right, you are wrong. Okay, 1. 2, again related to compliance, but little more contract labor. You use contract labor in the core job, okay, which you are not supposed to use. And use the contract labor in the core job, not for 6 months or 1 year, used for 5 years, 10 years. They have all the records. So they want to make you permanent. You say, I will not make you permanent. Right. And then second thing is, you say that contract labor will get little less salary than the permanent workman. The law says no discrimination. Payment of Wages Act, Minimum Wages Act says everybody will get unskilled, permanent, temporary contract will get the same salary. Male, female, everybody will get the same salary. There cannot be any difference. Because just because only apprentices is a stipend. Other than that, so you say no, I have the right to differentiate. 2, I use contract labor in the core job. You are not allowed. You are using the core people. That's one. The third, and you are not paying, and you are using the contract labor, and you think that the contract will be accountable. I said you are the principal employer. I hope in the process you are learning the labor law also, and you can go to jail. You can go to this. Okay. Now again, this problem has happened. Now how do you solve this one? When they come to ask you to ask for that permanency, how will you do it? Like I told you, either immediately catch them. Here comes the tips. The tips is, I told you, 2 tips. One tip, you know that, be aware of compliance. Second thing is skill. One is knowledge, you need to be a top class IR guy. The other is you need a top class skill to be an IR. Knowledge we already discussed. What is skill? Where to compromise, where to go down, where to be strong. Like in my case, where I was strong, right opportunity, right time to be strong, right to be bold. This kind of cases, I should have compromised. I should have had a nice meeting with them, goody with them, like I did in Ahmedabad. Have a nice fun with them, extended collective bargaining, nice samosas and teas. Getting my point? Model them, break them, divide and rule them, and give them some lalach. Okay, yeah, I'll make 10% of the people now permanency. Other people I'll make over a year. So postpone the problem. Getting my point? So single line is your skill of where to be when to be tough, where to compromise, diplomatically yield. According to me, if these 2 things are clear, nobody can touch you. You can take care of whole strikes in all over India. Let me take any big strike anywhere else. Do you agree with me or not? Only 2. 1 knowledge, 1 skill. The story can come different way. Oh, this people, they went on strike, they killed that people, this people went on strike for cycle allowance, they went for lunch allowance, this way for some other allowance. All story can come different industry. But the point is same, only 2 points. That is why you guys have to be educated. Professional. You don't, like doctor, you go now in winter time. Easiest job for doctor, I had one of my friend Venkatesha. He was my colleague. He's a director in Acharya Bangalore Peace School. His whole family is doctor. He's the only guy like me, doctorate and management. He's a director of that guy. I went to his house once for a dinner. Whole guy, his brother, sister, brother-in-law, everybody is a doctor. This guy is a little muppet like me, arrogant guy. He said, all the doctors are what? Useless. They don't have intellectual work to do. They were all reacting. Then he proved it. Hey, winter comes na. He talks like that. Pakka Gowda from Venkatesha. He said, winter comes na. Then people sitting, what the hell you do? Write Kalpal, Pisilin, argumentation, that's all you do na. 90% you write the same thing. Where is your intelligence you are using? You are not using difficult. But whereas we, as a corporate man, you don't know which strike, which raw material. I mean, there's only one raw material supplier in China for a particular medicine. API we call it, active paracetamol. There's nowhere in the world. And that guy will not come to your conclusion. He will vendor audit, he will give you a date. Your team will reach China. He will not even receive your call. Right? Government will not give you proper power. You know, we go through many things, many complications. He went on, given them over 15 minutes. All his relatives, brothers and sister-in-law, everybody. What guys you do? Winter, right? It was a winter time. You will write the same, na? You will write argumentation, ampicillin, Sinarest, Camiplan, or Crocin. This all you will write. And same anything you'll write for all 20 people. And he will borrow 500 people from everybody. He said correctly. So here, unless you are, similarly in our IR also, people think, different story, different level, nothing. Kani is same like a doctor. If you are very clear which industry, which dispute, which demand, forget of that's all Kani stories. The point is labor law knowledge, compliance, where to yield. If you know this point of it, you can be a very successful IR guy with love and fun. No stress and fun. You can enjoy. Whenever they go on strike, you can enjoy with you. Because that's the time you get a leisure. So, okay, now the reason for the Manesher is done. What is the learning? Learning is also given to you. And how much time, how many points I given you to explain to my students now? How you guys have to learn. I talked about corporate guys. I digged at the corporate guys. I digged at the doctors. Now I'm going to dig at you guys. Right? Right? It may be looking big, 20 page, 35, 100 page. Yeah, don't bother. Think seriously. Take patience. Reading, understanding, digesting. Solve. Instead of doing that, you get panic, you get impatient, you get restless, you try to avoid, you become indifferent. Right? Don't do that. That's all not a good habit to be a good CEO tomorrow. If you do that, like somebody asks, how do you do your job? You have, I said, I have bloody enough of time. Do go around, do any nonsense, I feel like. Because your approach is clear. If you go into that approach, you don't have time. Unnecessarily creating stress, tension, or whatever you call it. If your approach, so now you guys, that's what I told you. It could be a 20-page case. What is that? Once you read, all that you need is, I am going to read and understand. That conviction you should have. It is not that you cannot read English. It is not that you cannot understand. Right? I know all of you are intelligent, grasping. Otherwise, you should not be sitting here. What is that lacking? You don't have confidence in reading itself. We don't know what the kind of case is going to be. Am I right or not? Read it, thoroughly understand it. Oh, how many points you got it? 6 points? Not even one slide. Objective of the case is this. Objective is that how IR has been mishandled it. What is the lesson to be learned in IR so that this doesn't repeat it again? That is objective. The cause for the strike is the story is there. Maruti has been run by so. It got into that. That's the story. The third is, what is the cause? The cause is you registered not many causes. So you brought down the causes to only 3. Over compliance, not compliance. What is the skill? There they should at least yielded and molded by helping taking the government on. Instead of using that skill, they confronted. Wrong strategy. 6 points only, right? The whole case study. Is there more than anything? Simple, right? So you make your life easy, love and fun. Don't get into stress. 1, it's easy. 2, then your overall personality over a period of time improves a lot. Then you can run 10 roles effortlessly. Many people ask me what the hell I do. I'm not able to answer. To be very frank, I have even know 50% of the time Vela. Vela means doing nothing, lazy, free. In Punjabi, use a word called Vela. 50% of that. Though, if you list on my role, there are many roles. Most of the time I get up 7:30, 8 o'clock. Hell to you, all of you made me to get up today early. 7 o'clock. Right. Most of the time I don't get up before 7:30, 8. After getting up at 7:30, 8 also, I will sit for half an hour, 1 hour like a royal king, putting my leg up and having my tea or watching a TV or news. Another. What else I'm not enjoying, man? Correct? What else you need in life? When sir goes to 9:30 to restroom, then his speed picks up. The moment he puts hot water, then every speed's 1 hour. Tan, 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 tan. My people will say, no, you will get into rush. Don't create problem, mess in the house. Because so far I enjoyed my life. Now I'll create mess for the house people. Oh, Pastor, quick, quick, and all. And my full-time commitment is 8 days here, 10 days maybe in Singapore or Thailand or Ranchi or Delhi. Every month, 18 what like 18 days, 12 days I have leave. What else I want? I still end up making 4-5 lakh rupees. Good, nah. I don't work 30 days. I don't work 30 days. I work 18 days. That 18 days also, not 8 hours per day. Only you guys are making me to. Nobody is making me to work like this. Even if I go to, say, Singapore, Thailand, or Delhi, I'm traveling. What is the working over there? 2 hours, 3 hours. Only giving a direction, bully people, put them in the right direction. That my job is over. I'm not going to keep the plant on my head, or I'm not keeping my restaurant on the head, right? No? Correct? Forget it. So what is the time now? Break. So you guys have not come prepared for the Maneshan case, so I have to come prepared, right? Okay, chalo, go for break. 11, chalo, take 11:30. Go on. You're happy? Take. Huh? So don't get no, still there are chances. You have to be careful. Good man. Class is going all right. Understanding is there, no? It's a very complicated try subject, but I'm trying to make it simple, interesting.
Because in this, as far as I've seen, most of the words looks very similar, sir. Like when you start reading the concepts, no, we feel like even this is same, even this is same.
Common sense.
But writing, we wouldn't have those.
Common sense. It's basically common sense. First, I'll tell you, I told you finally knowledge, one skill. That's it. Anybody challenge? No, it's not enough. Similarly, for you guys, confident. You guys don't have confidence. You don't have that passion. What is that you cannot understand that case study? Right?
We should make ourselves feel like we know English.
It's only, and you have to put that you can.
Thanks, sir.
You guys are going to the canteen? So, ready? Can we start? We have only 1 hour. Online students, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Can we
sir.
start?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So what did we cover so far? Which Ramayana we covered so far? We talked about in the reference of Manesher case study. What are the labor law implications? What the precursors? What is the knowledge or skill attitude you should have to handle it? That's it. Now this 1 hour I'm trying to cover up labor code, which is coming to your exam. Clear cut. What is the new labor code? How it is affecting employee and employer in comparison to the labor law which were already existing. Which means the labor code has been passed in 2021 only, April. This is after 40 years. All the labor laws have come after 1947, around 50, 60, 70. The whole objective of the labor law was based on the presumption employers are exploiting, employees are poor, socialistic country. We have to safeguard, we have to provide everything. With that theme only, the most of the laws have been framed. And they also got into some unrealistic kind of things. You know, you cannot work more than 8 hours. You cannot work in the night shift, all those kind of things. And then they made the labor law so cumbersome that it cannot be implemented. It cannot be complied. So we all Indians, we become too smart and jugaad, like I told you, in how not complying. If you go for an interview, if you go and talk to them what I told you, that compliance, they will say, get out of this place, your job is not given. They will tell you, if you come and tell me how you can manage non-compliance. So the Indians were used to that kind of style of non-compliance and manipulating, managing a non-compliance. This was a scenario going on. That was the background. This was a scenario. Then recently, we all wanted a lot of foreign development investment. We wanted all the countries to come into India. Those guys are philosophically opposite to this one. They are not into jugadi. They are not into non-compliance. For them, process compliance is utmost. Rule of law is the one for everybody. You have to comply in letter and spirit. They call it due diligence. Implement. They said, we cannot implement. We cannot give bribe. We cannot come get into trouble. So we don't come into invest in India. So that triggered the central government to relook at the unpractical labor laws to be redone. If it is not done, then you cannot get foreign investment. And the second thing is like your IT companies. Now you are all working in the night shifts and things like that. It was not allowed as per the old labor laws. Girls cannot work in the night shift cannot be run, all those kind of things. So they thought there's a right time to relook at the existing labor laws. So the reason for that is foreign investment, two, unpracticality. Third, the industries have to grow and they have to get out of that non-compliance and manipulation, jugadi, bribery. Make it, the law should be so simple, so effective. It should be on a governance mode, not inspector Raj mode. That was an inspector Raj. Inspector will come, he'll be hero, you may take care of him, pay him money, don't comply. It becomes the HR guys sometime 40% of the time goes only in that one. So now we talk in terms of compliance, due diligence, process, and things like that. Then that is needed. Then that is the time they took care of labor code. Okay, this was passed in 2021. Even up to now, the state government people are not ready to implement. Okay, there are 3 lists: central list, state list, concurrent list. The central labor laws can be passed by the central government. They passed it. President of India given the approval. It has become a law. And many state government, including Karnataka, they were not implementing. Well, they have to frame the rules. Well, why they were going there? The new labor code has got some benefits and it's moderating. Previously, employee got everything. Now employee have got better thing. Also, they are coming under some control. Similarly, employer has got some better thing and all. So employer doesn't have an objection. Employee said, no, we don't want new labor code. We want whatever the old labor law, also whatever good things given in the labor code. But not removing, like for example, as per the labor law, old labor law, Trade Union Act, anybody can form a trade union, any 7 people, by paying some very nominal money, go to the labor commission, form your own labor union. That is as per the Trade Union Act existing, the old one. Okay. So if suppose I have 1,000 people employees, you have a 10 kind of trade union. Then they have an inter-trade union rivalry. And I also told you the employees were very smart. They'll pay money to all the 10 unions. So they create problem, and the union create problem. Industry goes for a task. So that is because the old Trade Union Act allowed any 7 people can go for. As per the labor code, they said you are allowed to pass, but anybody with employee can become member of only one union, not all the 3. Okay, 1. 2, whichever union has got only more than 51%, that's the only legally represented union to negotiate with you. So by that, they avoided all those inter-union rivalry, multiple issues created for the sake of creating. Like this, they brought in a lot of sensible things, which were not, not okay with the union people, not okay with the employee. So they are objecting to that. So even the state government like Karnataka has not passed the rules. Now again in 2022, the President of India has come down heavily. You are passing the rule or not. There are 3 laws: central law, state law, concurrent law. Central law can be passed by central, state can be passed by the state. Concurrent list both can. So law is passed by the central law in this one, and there is a rule can be prepared by the state government. They were going slow on that. But now the central government made it clear, the President of India, you have to implement. This is the background of labor code. Understood it? Now, before going to labor code, what were the laws existing till today? There were more than 44 laws. Can we teach you? Are you ready to learn and go through the exam? Nacha, he says I'm willing to study, but no exam. Huh? Thank you, dear. There were nearly 44 laws. I told you, no, compliance. I blamed everybody, no. Now I have to withdraw my blame. It's not sometimes possible to understand, implement practically all those laws. There are 44 labor laws. You can see now something related to Minimum Wages Act. Okay, understand? You have to pay minimum salary, 15,000, 20,000. There's a Payment of Wages Act, which will say by 7th you have to pay. If you pay beyond 7th, you have to go to jail and things like that. Then there is an act called Bonus Act. You have to pay 8.33. You have to pay 20% more. Then there's an act called Factory Act. Factory Act, when you are setting up a factory, how do you prepare your layout? How do you go about your shifting pattern? Because I'm just rushing. You are not supposed to know all the acts, right? If you have to learn the law, then you come one more Sunday morning till evening. We'll discuss about the law, right? As Factory Act is talking about all those plant layout. This is supposed to be a separate course on diploma or a specialization in labor law, in which you have to go through. In fact, I must give credit to all of you guys very frankly, seriously. All this thing, what we taught or what you are learning in 1-3 hours is not possible. But you are getting a gist of it, that's more than enough. You are a generalist, you should know the general one. You are not a specialist, right? I hope so far whatever you taught, you understood, right? Gone into your head or not? Almost, 50-60% also there? No, if it is 50-60%, I'm okay. Now, Factory Act talks about that one. There is a Shops and Establishment Act. What is the difference between factory and shops? Factories like Ashok Leyland and Biocan and all. Shops means lot many small shops. The mall is there. The mall is there. Small shops are there, wherein more than 20 people are working. That called Shops and Establishment. This is a separate act for. Then there is a Standing Order Act. Then there is workman compensation. If somebody meets an accident in the factory, what is permanent liability? What is temporary disability? What money to be paid? That is taken care of in that one. Then this act, this last 3, very dangerous act. Industrial Dispute Act, Trade Union Act, and Contract Labor. Trade Union Act, I already told you, which says how to form a union, how to file the return. As per that act, any 7 people can form and then fight and create all the chaos. That's the Trade Union Act. And the Industrial Dispute Act is whenever an employee, like blue collar employee has got another big visa, you cannot terminate them. You know, all of you. They are more than a government employee. If you terminate, they'll go to the court. The court 90% will say reinstate. The court will say with back wages. First word will say reinstate with back wages. Because again, we don't know the procedure to terminate a guy. Okay. Now again, there are 5 concepts. Please understand. Write down, make a note. Retirement, resignation, retrenchment. Thank you, dear. Resignation, retirement, resignation, retrenchment, retrenchment. I'll tell you now. That's what this guy is already jumping. Huh? Resignation, resignation, retirement, resignation, retrenchment. You are only confusing me. Retirement, termination. 5 things are there, na? Okay, let's go one by one. Retirement, all of you know. You reach a age of 60 or 62, or if the standard company says 58, you retire. That is this is all comes under cessation of service. You go happily, no issue. You retired as per that, you've gone then. Resignation, everybody's got the right to resign and go by giving 2 months, 3 months and all those things. Okay. Termination. What is termination? You are not doing job properly, I want to terminate. In case of you and me, the management will only give a simple hint, we'll resign and go. Right? In case of Fitter, Turner and all in Manisha or TVS and all, you can't even touch him. Okay. And if you do by mistake termination, in all probability, he'll come back. So what is the scope? There is a complete procedure. Explain in Industrial Dispute Act. Issue a charge it. Give him 24 hours to explain or 48 hours explain. If it doesn't explain, again extend it for another 48 hours. He will explain. Then appoint an inquiry officer, preferably from outside. Let him conduct inquiry like a court. He will go through all those things. Let him submit a report. So in the process, give him enough opportunity to the workman that why you should not be punished. So let the inquiry officer submit the report. Yes, the charges, misconduct. The misconducts are explained in your standing order. Misbehaving, conniving, torturing, spoiling, whatever misconduct. So you give like a class. All those inquiry officer will submit a report. Then finally give a punishment, which is suitable punishment. You will not everybody hang them, right? You'll give somebody some punishment, somebody 3 years or 5 years, or somebody bailable offense. Very few people life imprisonment, some people only hanging. So similarly, you cannot terminate people. That is a corporate punishment. Lastly, you have to give. So you have to be very careful in term that is called disciplinary proceedings, charge eating and all, which is very well explained in the Industrial Dispute Act, which one has to really master if at all you want to terminate. Now, normally people don't get into the chance of terminating people. Matured people are very careful, they don't terminate. If you terminate, you will get into trouble. But there are some cases, some very notorious guy, you have to terminate. I had an opportunity to terminate some people. I told the manager, even if this guy comes, back wages of 10 years, at least 10 years we'll have peace. This 10 years, this guy is not contributing. He is taking if whatever loss and everything, finally your leadership decision here. This kind of thing, we know this guy, he will not cooperate with you in all those proceedings. Since he's a notorious guy, you give him charge it, he will not explain, he will not appear, he will misbehave with the inquiry officer. He will do everything to see that the procedure is not taken place. After all, we are not civil court, nah? It's our own internal, so you will misbehave. So the management said, again, you will terminate, will come. We will terminate, nah? We will terminate that guy. He will come back. He has to go through at least 5-10 years. Then my cycle choice. Once I terminate, he will go to the labor court, labor commissioner, civil court, high court and all. Let me spend a lot of money and delay it. 10 years. Even up 10 years, hard, this guy comes in. 10 years of whatever salary I could in any case paid him for doing his nonsense. I keep it in some separate one. And then I'll see to that doing everything that he doesn't come back. Even if it comes back, I've not lost anything. Again, you have to take your own call. You're getting my point. Or sometimes you have to be really bold. There are 2 examples which I handled. Right? One is a British case, one is my own case. One guy, again, for a very big pharma complex, one local guy, like here you call it Haryana, Yadavs and Gujar, UP, East UP BR border, there's one community called Yadavs. They're supposed to be very. One guy, one fitter, sir will come in a bullet. All the standing time office people will salute him, go to the plant, all the shift engineer and the chief engineer, everybody will salute him, take care of him, all those kind of things. He created that kind of this local guy, and sir will come and go back. His salary is getting processed and things. So I come to know, I also didn't immediately bounce upon him. But when we are giving the contract jobs, like he said, he was also getting a lot of contract jobs, using his power and influence, managing the chief engineer and all. And then he was making a lot of money and then sharing with people inside, officers and all you look after. So he is doing his politics properly. So I had to stop his contract, not because I don't like him. I have to give a contract based on a merit. So he started feeling the pinch, that this guy is controlling me. One, is controlling my movement. The two, he's not giving me this thing. One day, my driver, Panditji, he left me. Those days, he used to travel a lot by train. He left me in the railway station. He was coming back. He stopped at my driver and taking a Ganga Jal water. We will kill your Bhaskaran by the time he comes. He challenged my driver. My driver has become trembling. This guy is going to do that. And then I had one of the security officer who was a retired PhD level kind of guy. He was, instead of supporting, he was also severe. So, you have to be careful. And I was somewhere in meeting in Lucknow and I went back. Nothing bothered him. I went. And then I said all the time, whenever that guy comes, close all the gate, bring him to me. The security officer was really, no, sir, it cannot be done this and that. Please do it. What I'm doing it. And remaining, I'll take care. He was not coming to line for months. Once he come, then I was sitting in the 4th floor, big, largest room. And then he was called to my room. That guy, he was in a white kurta pajama. I was sitting. When I come to know, I told them to remove all the chairs in front of me. Only I will sit. I did like a filmy hero. Right. I took my revolver. I had been, even today, I have my, be careful. I have my revolver, I have my gun. Okay, I have my revolver, I have my gun. I only took my revolver. I was just like a filmy hero, just trying it. His name was Kansham. Kansham, if you can kill me, I said, I have already filed an FIR on that, already given to police people. And I have much more influence on the ministry, what police station. Even the chief minister has to dance to us because we are a powerful industrialist, not Bhaskaran. Behind me, big industry, 10,000 crore turnover industry is there. Even the politician have to dance to me. What to talk about bloody police or anybody else. So you think then it really started hitting him. I could see his body going. And then I was playing with my pistol. I was pulling it and the pistol and all those kind of. I said, you are doing it now. I've already informed police station. Even by mistake, somebody else kills me, you have to go into jail because you have been already informed it. And then what do you think, that I cannot kill you? One, police will dance to me. You said I can kill you by paying 1 crore to somebody. Nobody will come into this. Outside people are getting panicky. My security officer, I know what happens in that. I was enjoying coolly. This guy confidently playing with it like a filmy hero. Then I could see this guy, all his white kurta pajama here, and then he's come and touched me. Now you got a lesson, buddy. Behave properly. Give in writing. You said this thing. You will not do that. I will not disturb you. I'm not saying that, buddy, come and work. I'm not saying I will not give you contract. So that way you handle it. How practically. There's another case in British, one of the factory. The night shift, one guy has thrown a hammer on the other person. Other person was bleeding, admitted in the hospital, about to die, taken care of. Now, next day you have to take an action under the Dispute Act, under the charge sheet. How will you go about it? This is a case law of British High Court. How will you do it? Say, for example, again, we'll take him only. He has thrown in the night, 12 o'clock, a hammer on colleague. And that guy bleeding, about to die. We have to issue charge it, right? We have to issue charge it to him or the guy who's bleeding? To him only. Now the inquiry take place. It's a fact. In the night, so many people are working. It's a fact he's thrown it and the charge it is issued to him. Okay. And then he has to be given punishment or not? That's punished, nah? Yes, we can. It's very interesting case study. Not case study, case judgment given by the High Court, British High Court, London High Court. They said, no, this guy cannot be punished. He is not the accused. The HR guy has to be accused. The reason is that time he was working 15 hours, 16 hours in the extreme cold in UK. So you had an unfair, unpractical, inhuman HR practices, which he got irritated. He got provoked. He did provocation. But who did the provocation? You. So that is a case law given by. So this is a very. So the Industrial Dispute Tax makes very serious for all of it study, more prominently into the termination of people. Okay, that's enough for you guys. If it is a contract, you have to go by the notice. It says notice, you have to give notice. It says notice or salary in lieu, you can give salary and get away with it. Okay. And there are laws which is impractical. For example, I'll tell you, in the Trade Union Act, one more very interesting case. 20 years back, the bank's clerical lobby was very strong. Before you got into the computer software and things like that, they were really hobby over that system. They can run and ruin. So every 3 years they go for a salary revision. Bankers. It happened in India. I'm talking about Indians. Talk about maybe 15, 20 years back. So they negotiate this salary, dearness allowance, cycle allowance, this allowance, all allowance, they negotiate. And one more point they put in that class saying that whenever I die, or I resign, or retire, my ward or my son should get a job, son or ward. That also put in the agreement. Okay, now it's agreement. Agreement signed by probably tripartite or bipartite and all mad, not mad people. You can say the agreement was signed by lunatic or idiotic people. That is why the agreement is invalid. All people were sane, in right mind and all those things. The agreement got signed. Now what to do? Is it implementable or not implementable? It's an agreement, collective bargaining, bipartite, 10 people sign, all not even a single guy, lunatic or mad guy in that one. There are agreements you can say the guy signed, that time was lunatic. There are a lot of Supreme Court judgment. He was a normal guy, sane guy. But when he signed, he used to get fits every now and then. There are judgments. And when he signed that time, he was not in condition. Here you can't take that class. There are 10, 12 people. Now what do you do? Again, I'll give you 10,000 rupees. You answer this. It's a law, valid agreement, signed by people, collective bargaining, bipartite, tripartite agreement. Point is put. The implementation is going to cost like bank anything. That is the only way I can reduce people against retirement and this thing. Otherwise, I cannot. And that right also gone now. How will I survive in the business? Agreement is signed. No, that clerical people comes under the blue card. They terminate themselves, not the officers. That's why they have clerical bank clerical association, not PO and above. That's what I said. Now, before this, all technology and all, the hold was on them. They have to manually do records and keeping and everything. They could ransack you. Afterwards, that's why you remember in India when we brought in all the systems, a lot of people will go on unemployment, this and that. That issue also was there for a long time, right? And bank, can they work without a system and software and all? So they had all that negotiating power. So that is why they put all the class. So this has been followed by other unions somewhere else also. Bankers put the class, some Birla factory, Tong union, they also put the class. That future, my sons and my ward should get a job. Now, how do you solve this? Tell me. I'll give this bottle if you answer it correctly. Huh? 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 How will you handle it? Huh? Come on. Okay, I'll make it short. See, this is an agreement, valid agreement. This was the one of the landmark judgment from the Supreme Court of India. This is as per the agreement, correct agreement, legal agreement to be implemented, to be performed. There's nothing as per the Contract Act. You hear Contract Labor Act. There's a Contract Act which talks about agreement. Okay, I'm a lawyer, so I don't want to confuse you guys. So as per that act, that agreement is valid. You can't say invalid. Valid means you have to implement. You have to give. It's a valid agreement signed by minded people, not against, all those kind of things. But only one thing which has gone wrong in that agreement. There are laws, Many labor laws, many general laws like Agreement Act, Income Tax Act, PF Act, and all those kind. On the top of it, there is one father, that is fundamental rights under the Indian Constitution. Under the fundamental right, there is an equal right of job and employment to everybody. So somebody took this clause in Supreme Court. This clause is against the fundamental right provided for each one, equal right of employment under the fundamental right under the Indian Constitution. Supreme Court said, yes. By doing this thing, you are going against the fundamental right of everybody. Hence, this practice, every industry got relief. Now, afterwards, all the union, they are not insisting that clause. I got it. Other, huh? What? No, that is they are giving politically, they want to give. No, there are two different things. Somebody dies on a compassionate ground, giving is different. Hello, what this guy is saying? Somebody dying on a compassionate ground, government will give and factory will give. Every retiring people should get a job. That's what I'm saying, Against death case during the job, even people may not mind. But against every retirement, so death case, though, they may not mind. It's again compassionate ground. It is not mandatory. Again, please remember this word: discretionary, mandatory, compassionate. It is not mandatory for me to give a job to somebody who dies. Or what? It is compassionate. It is discretionary. There are three legal words. So this act has really, otherwise, how difficult varies. Already labor law is enough. And then you have another sets of laws. Then you have a fundamental right. Then you have state principles of policy, which says prohibition, no expansion of distilleries. So we have to read, and then you have international law. Everything gets into picture when things goes for a task. Okay. Each one has got a state law. So this is the law. Then Contract Labor Act, we already discussed. Contract Labor Act is the one which gives maximum scope for dispute. Because you don't know the meaning of contract labor, where to employ, what is the principal employer, second employer, equal salary to be given, which I already explained to you. As such, the act itself talks about contract labor abolition act. Meaning by, we don't want contract labor. And you guys are making our life miserable. So we are allowing you or putting some regulation. So these were the kind of 44 labor laws which were creating a lot of. The another major problem was that there is a PF Act, there's an ESI Act, there's a Bonus Act. Okay, there are three acts. Under the PF Act, it will say 12% I'll deduct from you, 12% I pay from you. Okay, suppose this guy's salary is 20,000. Okay, the PF Act said 12% of his basic salary to be deducted. So I'm a smart HR guy. I manipulate even a very good law also. Here the law has given a lot of scope for me to manipulate. So I'll make his 20,000 breakup. I'll make 5,000 basic salary, house rent allowance, this allowance, that allowance, such way, so that my outflow of PF reduced. Getting my point? I had the right because there was no law to regulate me. The law said 20,000 minimum salary. The law said, PF law said 12% to be deducted from him, 12% to be paid from contributory provident fund. So what I will do smartly, I will reduce it to 5,000 so that my outflow goes down. Okay, so that is one. If you take Bonus Act, the Bonus Act will say the definition of basic. Here something PF Act say will only basic means basic to be deducted for deduction. Bonus Act will say basic is not only basic, house rent also included. The definition of basic itself was different from act to act. Within the labor law, the basic salary definition should be single, right? Here it will say only basic salary. In terms of ESA, it will say, no, even including overtime allowance also included in that. Excluding only these two. Excluding house rent allowance, whatever allowance you are giving, all included into basic. So not only basic. So the definition of basic between act to act itself was different, right? BS Act will say something, Bonus Act will say something. of chaos and not easy the governance. That was one issue in the old act. Two, it has given a scope to manipulate. I'll manipulate in such a way so that I'll save the salary. My salary cost means not only salary, the PF and ESI contribution also big money to me. So I will go out of it to do that one. These all existing as per the previous labor law. One, this problem was probably not in favor of employee. It was in favor of employer. The Trade Union Act was in favor of employee because they can people union do whatever nonsense they felt like. And Contract Labor Act in any case was there. So these were the overall by and large labor laws then. Now the government, I told you, due to the reason they need to invest foreign investment, they have to make some flexibility in the industry. They have to think of industry survival, not that socialistic pattern alone. If you don't survival of the industry, we will also head towards like Sri Lanka or Pakistan and things like that. So they thought good time to practically, prudently touch the act. They took 7-8 years. They changed all the 44 lakhs into 4 labor codes. Yes, madam. Okay, the PF Act, there are PF Act, fund for that. ESI Act, what is the benefit of ESI? Yeah, insurance, PS Act means the employee can get a medical benefit, hospitalization. And what is the catch here? They can have even 120 days leave for medical purpose. Suppose I have 500 skilled workmen in my factory, and those guys, by paying the inspector, PSI inspector, he takes on leave, which I cannot control. I cannot even question it, right? He will come and say that my leave is extended, medically I'm unfit to work. So they were all misusing in that act. Then Gratuity Act we were misusing. What is Gratuity Act? Okay, Gratuity Act says minimum 5 years in case of you are surviving. In case you died, even in 2 years, 1 year also, you're eligible for gratuity. 2, right? Third is 15 days salary per year of service. Simple, okay. 5 years in case of surviving. In case of death, even 1-2 year also, one is eligible for gratuity. Third is that your 15 days salary per year of. This is by and large the gratuity provision. What we were doing is, we were smartly, there are 2-3 disputes used. One is that suppose somebody resigned after 4 years, 7 months. Will it be treated as 5 year? That dispute used to come. Suppose somebody worked 4 years, 7 months, 4 years, 8 months. Will you treat him eligibility of 5 years? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The Supreme Court said anything after 4 years, 6 months should be treated as 5 years. Anything less than 4 years, 6 months would not be taken. Anything 4 years, 6 months plus would be treated as a 5 year. This dispute used to. The another dispute used to come. Suppose his salary is 20,000. Okay. He worked for 10 years. You make a calculation. He worked for 10 years. His salary is, last done salary was 20,000. Okay. So how do you calculate his gratuity? Okay, write down a calculator and tell me now. 20,000 rupees is last salary. Okay. Last, when he retired or resigned, his salary was 20,000. Okay. He worked for 10 years. How will you calculate gratuity? Sorry?
5 lakh.
Why? You calculate and tell me. How did you calculate? I don't know the figure. He says 20,000 into why 12? I said his last term salary 20,000. He worked for 10 years. Eligibility, 15 days salary per year of service. Now calculate and tell me how did you calculate? What is the
2,50,000.
Sorry?
2,50,000.
No, in case of okay, you take go by basic is or no, Gratuity Act says no basic. Total. That's what I said. No, there is a definition different. Gratuity act is what is totally lost drawn salary. Okay, that's a different issue. Okay, now 20,000 rupees, you go with this one. 20,000 is your last on salary, whether it's basic or total. On that, 10 years you work, 15 days salary. How did you calculate how much it has come? Tell me.
It is
Huh?
not 2,50,000.
1 lakh. How did you calculate? Tell me.
1 lakh, sir.
15 days. What is that? It's coming to
10,000.
20,000 comes to 10,000.
Sir, it's 2,50,000.
How did you calculate?
Yeah, it's a 15 days of salary.
15 days salary is what? How much? 10,000?
Yeah, it's 20,000 per month. So
20,000, 15
I mean,
days salary is how much?
it's
10,000.
10,000.
Multiplied
Yes.
by?
Well, I mean, and then again 12 months. I mean, we will get 1 year of salary, no, as a gratuity. So it's 2,50,000. 20,000 per month into 12 again, plus 10,000.
Plus 10,000, why, madam?
2,40,000 plus 10,000.
Madam, you take 1 year. 1 year eligibility is 15 days salary, which means 20,000. What is 15 days salary? 10,000. Multiplied by 10
10,000.
years. 1,50,000.
1 lakh.
What?
Okay.
50. That is the salary normally we calculate, right? Again, I'm repeating. Normally, what you do is 20,000. 15 days salary equivalent to 10,000. And 10,000 multiplied for 10 years. 1 lakh or 1,50,000. But the Supreme Court said you cannot take 15 days salary the way we are doing it. You divide 20,000 divided by 26, take 1 day, multiply by 15, multiply by 10 years. Are you getting my point? This case has gone up to Supreme Court. You know how much time under? Huh? That is why they are going to court. No? That's why you should know. No? If you don't do it, they'll go to court. 20,000 divided by 26 come to how much? Huh? 769 multiplied by 15. You are taking half month salary. You are not allowed to take half month salary. Huh? Multiplied by 10 years. Some difference employee will get. So this kind of dispute used to come. Correct, na? So these are the typical disputes which used to come, which you should be aware of it. Okay. So you know about PF Act. You are great. Yeah, you know all the acts very well. 44 acts. Bonus Act. Huh? Huh? Okay. Okay. Now this is clear. What we have many acts. You cannot give. I mean, as per the law, last drawn salary, last 3 months average salary, divided by 26, multiplied by 15, multiplied by number of years service. Simple. And that simple only we complicate. Then we create dispute out of it. So these are the typical different. Now what the new labor code has come, that's what you're supposed to learn. All the 44 labor law, they got into 4 codes. 1 code on wages, 1 on social security, 1 on IR code, 1 on occupational safety, health and working condition. This slide is with you guys. I hope you got it, all of it. Already uploaded yesterday itself, or I can give it to you if you want. Okay, there are 4 codes. All the 44 labor laws have been replaced with 4 codes. They tried to make it simpler, easy to govern, easy to implement, reduce the inspector Raj, more practical, more prudent. That's what they attempted. Any change, people will react. Even if it is not hurting you, there is a resistance to change. So there's a lot of resistance to going. There are some genuine reasons. There are some unnecessary reasons. Now, how it is impacting the employee or employer after implementation of labor code in comparison to the old labor law, that's what you have to learn. That is what your question is also there already in the exam. Right? Now, how it is going to impact, I'll tell you. You cannot know, I have to tell you. Now, you know this 44 less replaced with 4 labor codes. Previously, what are the major reforms? One major reform is previously, suppose you got a 50,000 salary, okay, or 30,000 salary. I used to break basic in my whatever stream. One HR will say 10,000 basic, 15,000, 5,000 HRA, 3,000 conveyance allowance like that. Some other HR will do something. All those kind of. Now the law said nothing doing. Whatever CTC, 50% will be deemed to be basic. Getting my point? Previously, suppose he was getting 30,000 or 50,000. Each HR will play in its own way. They will come with own structure. This basic, this conveyance allowance, this special allowance. They'll put the word special allowance to reduce that basic, so that they can save money on the PF, PSA bonus and all those kind of things. Now the act says nothing doing, you go other way around. Whatever is total, 50% will be treated as basic across all the acts. Whether it is PF Act, PSA Act, Bonus Act, Gratuity Act, they removed all the confusions, interpretations. In other words, they thought that people like me are making a big life by, surviving in the chaos. They said there's no chaos, make it simple. CTC 50% is basic across all the act. That is one good thing they have done it. It's simple. Now it's implemented. Yeah. Now what is the implication of that? When I made CTC 50% as a basic, what is the implication to employee? What is implication to employer? That's the question. The benefit to the employee is that he gets more PF contribution from employer, more bonus from employer, gets more. But again, the employees are not happy. Why? His carry home salary goes less. His money also more contribution deducted. Though it is into his own account, but monthly carry home salary goes less. Previously, he was contributing 5,000 to PFI. Now you probably have to contribute 8,000 to PF. I am also contributing 8. He's getting extra. He's not worried about that one. He says my carry home is going less. You pay me my same carry home and give me this benefit. This is one implication. Employees are not happy because my carry home. So I'm not bothered about some of the younger employees. Who bothers about retirement benefit? I'm not bothered about, the old generation only wants gratuity, PF and all. I want immediate money. Like in Canada and all, every Friday they get salary. Every Friday they get salary. In Canadian industry. Every Friday they get salary. And Saturday, Sunday, you can't touch them or call them. Like we call, boss, can you do this work? Can you do that work? Nothing. Nobody can call anybody till Monday morning. Friday evening, they'll get the money. Saturday, they'll finish it. Sunday, they will sleep. Monday, they'll report. And they are not bothered about future. No PF, no insurance, no gratuity, no nothing, no pension. Give money now. So the similar culture is a little bit picking up here with the younger generation. So they are not happy with that. That's sorry. No, equal contributory provident fund. PF person today, suppose this guy is getting 30,000, the basic is 10,000. I will deduct 12% of his basic. Equal amount I have to contribute. It will be equal. Yeah, employee has got the right to contribute more than 12%. Mandatory is 12. Discretionary is more. Similarly, even employer can give more. Employer can give more, but so which employer will give more? Some pensions and all those. For the time being, you keep it only. PF means, like he said, there's a PF, there's a pension, there's an insurance. Now they are breaking into 3. That the government is investing in 3. Initially, it gets 12% from him. Only on the equal whatever deducted from him, I have to contribute. That is what we call contributory PF fund. The word. So one implication is this one, right? More CTC, more PF and this thing to people, more cost to the company. Employer, more cost to the company. Because previously, I was saving a lot of money on giving you less contribution to PF, PSA. Now a lot of money goes out of my pocket. And the other thing is, let's take him salary. Employee carry home less. Hello.
To
Somebody
save
said
tax, we can put more than 12%, right?
12% is
For employee
mandatory,
contrib-
but you
Yeah,
can
it's-
you can contribute more than 12 as an employee. The company need
Yeah.
not give you.
But to save tax, employee can contribute more than 12%.
You can put more. Again, then you are tracking into Income Tax Act. Income Tax ATCC will say total investment of 50, 1 lakh 50.
1.5 lakh. Yeah.
Whether you
1.5
put it
lakh.
here or put it in somewhere there, it comes to the same. So you treat everything together. You can put it.
Yeah. Oh.
You can claim also under the income tax, but it will not go more than 150 under ATCC.
Yes. Exactly.
You are allowed, madam. But the point is,
Yes,
company
that's
will
what.
not give you more than 12. When we
But
say
employee side
contributory
I'm
profit,
speaking. Yeah.
sorry,
Employee can, not employer is 12%.
no,
but
employee can, employee
contribute.
need not, and you can avail income tax benefit, but maximum will be 150. Whether you avail here, avail in house rent loan or principal or anywhere you avail, it will be 150. Okay, the implication here is 3. More PSI, gratuity to employee, more cost to the company. Okay, less carry home to the employee. The employee, they want to have a cake and eat it too. They say everything is okay. You want me to take less from salary? That is not acceptable. You have to do something. I carry more carry homes. So they were not allowing to implement the labor law. 1. This is what you are supposed to write in your exam. The objective of this one is maximum governance, ease of doing business, and they also covered a lot of unorganized sector. Like we have been organizing PSA and all organized company. A lot of people coming to work for construction, road construction from Bihar or Exxon. They are all called unorganized. This company said need not be 20 people, 1 person. Even unorganized sector people will also be covered under PF and ESI. 1. And once they have come from Bihar to Bangalore, they'll be given at least once in a year traveling and going and coming. Their insurance will be taken care. Because they've taken care more in a realistic sense, the social benefit of an employee, and more so unorganized labor. Organized labor, though they were negotiating, getting better, but unorganized people, they were not getting it. So they given more social security to unorganized people like construction workers and all other people. That's another thing in this labor law. Minimum 3,000 pension. Apart from your PF, whatever PF pension. Previously, gratuity used to be 5 lakh, 10 lakh. You cannot draw more than 10 lakh as a gratuity. Only the central government employees, IAS officers and all they were getting. Those guys were they're getting more gratuity. They got into income tax also. So those guys managed it. Up to 20 lakhs you can get gratuity. Up to 20 lakhs it doesn't come under tax also. You are getting at the time of retirement 20 lakhs, you don't have to pay tax on. So the gratuity amount has been increased from 5 lakh to 10 lakhs to 20 lakhs. You are eligible. 1. 2, you are also eligible not to pay tax on. Okay. Yeah. Everybody, that is why you started the class. I told you, workman. Bank are here. Nobody bothered. Are you coming under the definition of workman? White collar is not a workman, yeah? There are disputes. There are easy workmen and blue collar. There are disputed workmen. Correct, na? I told you there's one chief engineer of a factory. He said, I am not an officer, I am a workman. Because my salary was high, but they treated like me ordinary worker. Which is fact. So the Supreme Court said you are a workman. Supreme Court also goes all different. What is the source of law? Source of law is state government passes law, central government passes law. That's one source of law. Second source of law is whatever judgment given by the courts. That also becomes a source of law. Court means Supreme Court, High Court level. That's what I saw in Hindu Marriage Act. Act not changed even today. Managing within the community is within the relatives is a sin, legally wrong, scientifically wrong. That's a law. But the Supreme Court said, the practice happening. Let them go to hell with that only. Why we have to touch that? That is how the law is interpreted. Okay. Now the maternity leave has been increased from 12 weeks to 26 weeks as per the new labor code. Okay. Fourth is there's a thing called floor wage. They said don't play with people by paying CTC, PF and all those kind of. There is a floor wage. Minimum you have to pay 15,000-20,000. No breakup and things like that. So they're taking care of the employee. Then ESA, PFA to unorganized also. Previously, PF Act, ES Act will be applicable. There's a word called applicable. PF Act will be applicable to a factory where minimum 20 people are working, where power is used. Then the act is applicable. Then I can manipulate. You don't keep people more than 15 people on the record, say that act is not applicable. Okay. Now, I know in my time, previously ESI was included area to area, meaning by Bangalore included because a lot of hospitals are there. Okay. Somewhere, Hubli or somewhere, it is not implemented because that area is still no hospital. Now they said nothing doing. ESI to be implemented anywhere, everywhere across India, and even to unorganized people also, so that they get at least health benefits. This is as per the new labor code. Traveling allowance for migrant workers. So people who come from Bihar or which state to which state, once in a year, the people have to pay them while going and coming there, allowance. Then minimum wage has been increased to 24,000. Women empowerment. All the board of directors, general managers, that discrimination to be avoided, they have to be empowered. Inclusiveness has to be brought in. Diversity have to be brought in. And whatever, this is another very difficult one. Whenever vacancy comes in the private industries also, it has to be informed like an employment exchange board or a depository, so that everybody gets an equal employment opportunity to do it. That is another point they brought in. This is very important. This is what hitting the workman. So far, they got a lot of benefit to workman. This hits the workman. Now, like I told you, under the Trade Union Act, you can easily have 3-4 unions. You become a member of all the unions. All the members create inter-university rivalry. And I, as a management, I don't know to whom to handle it. Now the act said, employee can be only member of one union. He cannot be member of 3 unions. You are right. And whichever union has got 51% workers strength in that one, only that union will deal with it. So that made my life easy as an employer life, transparent, easy, but the employees are not happy. Union is not at all happy because they cannot thrive, right? Only one very meritorious union can thrive. That's a very good amendment. I mean, out of all the modifications I've done, I like this one best. Because of trade, like I told you the first, who creates strike? Employee, employer, union, outsiders. Like in this guy, trade union and outsider creates a lot of problem. And the trade union is creating problem because of the employees provoking them through this means. Not the trade union per se, they were creating problem. The smart employees, not the trade union. These guys go and blackmail them. So the trade union people helpless. So now that is very well taken care of, this one. You can be only member of one union, not all 3. And that whichever union got 51%, that is the only union has got the legal right to negotiate. Participate in collective bargaining, participate in 5-party meeting, participate in 3-party meeting. This is an excellent modification, I personally feel. Yes, sir. Yeah. Then it's again a majority, no? If one union has got 51% vote, and in that 51 people in some agenda, it is between them, nothing to do with me. It is between the union and the union member, not to do with me. They have to sort it among them. No, that is the decision given. And they are also proposing to give some unemployment allowance. Okay, that's, I don't know how they are going to do it. They are trying to do it. Now, a lot of cases pending everywhere. What they attempted is beautifully, they are preventing not to cases to come. Like cases like if you put a basic this way, that way, a lot of cases used to come. They're done in such a way, very intellectually done by a lot of good people like me, not like you, yeah. Okay. They worked a lot to prevent the cases which can come. One side. The other side, they also appointed many tribunals to settle the case quickly. You getting my point? So this also attempted. So it took 4 or 5 years for the committee to come up with this new labor code. They have come up after 5 years. The politician, they didn't allow even 3 years to pass it. Then a lot of difficulty, President of India approved it. Again, after President of India approved, people are not willing to implement. This can happen only in India, nowhere in the world. President of India is the highest authority who gives assent to any law passed. That means final. Okay, you guys know about what is judicial review? Judicial review is a judicial review. Huh? Okay, come back. You just ask me, let me complete. This is again in favor of employer. Previously, whenever I have to close a factory or retrench employee, okay, I needed permission from the state government, which would never come. Now, up to 300 employees, I don't need permission. This is totally in favor of employer, totally against employee, in the interest of business. This is a major change. Previously, whenever I have to lay off, retrench, or close, if my company is having more than 100, I have to get the approval of state government. State government will never give me the approval. They say, you go to hell, we will not allow you to close it because it will affect our vote bank. Now they said up to 300, you have the right to close, wind up, lay off, retrench. Above 300 only you have to come to the approval, which the employee will never strike. Like neither employee will like, nor trade union will like. But according to him, it's in the right direction. I mean, at the end of the day, you cannot make the business to just give you a charity, right? Survival of the fittest. The business has to stay. Otherwise, they'll become bankruptcy. If that will get another sets of issues. This layoff you are talking is not in workman man. You are talking about Google layoff. You are talking about Microsoft layoff. That's white collar layoff. That's a contract. That is what I started the class. You will not say anything word other than workman till end of the class. Still 15 minutes is there. You will talk only in terms of workman, right? That layoff is, that is not layoff. They are wrongly using the word layoff. They are throwing them. They are retrenching them. They are, concluding the contract. It's not layoff, actually speaking. That's a contract. That's an adult to adult contract. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Basically, now you tell me now how it's legal. Now I don't have to answer. I given you case. Anything in the process core, you cannot use contract. Everybody company, that's in India, we were doing jugaad management. Now you are manipulating. Inspector Raj. No. That your apprentices. They have probation. You can have a trainee for 3 months, 6 months. You can have a probation. You can have an apprentice. But you cannot exploit people, no, in the name of contract labor, putting in a core job. Huh? That's part of it. There. Nobody bothered about implication. It went on. But when it comes to asking for your right, you are gone. A lot of government, they have to overnight to confirm 1,000, 10,000 people into permanent. What you ask, na? A lot of government people, they've been as a contract overnight. They have to make everybody permanent because government cannot say, like a private guy still like smart guy like me, private, I'll settle an agreement with you, make 10% and things like that. Government, once it's exposed, But now awareness is going up, right? The educated people are there now. The workman is not a The blue collar workman is not an uneducated guy. He's by and large ITI, a school dropout, something like that. His demands, his awareness is more. So long back we did all those things, we enjoyed it. So we should forget that enjoyment anymore. Okay. Now this is a big shift from to the point of business viability, sustainability, and global investment, which probably has been compelled by the foreign investment guys. You bring the class, otherwise they'll not come. So they have to yield to them. So 300. Okay. Which we are supposed to answer, right? Okay. Okay, now, what is layoff? What is retrenchment? What is closure? What is lockout? This guy will only explain. He said he will. Okay. Temporary lockout, permanent lockout. Permanent lockout is closure. Temporary lockout is locking for closing sometime due to illegal strike, or your calamity has come. Force majeure. There's a class called force majeure. You know the word, na? Force majeure. Force majeure means something which is not under my hand. COVID has come. Obviously. Notice is primary, anywhere, everywhere. The whole law is based on social justice, natural justice. We call it prudence, jurisprudence. When we study law, we have been taught jurisprudence, social justice, natural justice, which is nothing but give adequate opportunity to the guy before hanging him. Full opportunity of being heard. If that is given, your social justice, prudence is taken care. Okay. Now this guy wanted, what is the question? What is retrenchment? Retirement, you know. Resignation, you know. Termination, I already explained. Retirement and layoff together. Layoff is temporarily I have to lay you off for 2 or 3 months because I don't have raw material due to some reason, or I have finished product so much I don't have to produce and keep it in the godown. Okay, because of this 2 valid reasons, I have to lay you off temporarily for 3 months, and during that period you will take 50% of the salary. That is layoff. So that means my relation, yeah, it's like a bench only. Here my relationship with you is on. We only separated, we have not divorced. Okay, we are separated, we may gone together, but still we have not divorced. Our relationship is on. That language I think probably all of us will understand better. Right. Now what is retrenchment? We are divorced. We are diverse because the company cannot run 3 plants anymore. It doesn't look like 90%. It doesn't look like I will be able to run 2 more plants because my product is obsolete. I don't need this kind of technology. So I need only few people. So I have to retrench you. So I'm heading towards diverse, which means permanent. Okay. Now the come is, how will I do retrenchment? Last come, first go. When I prepare a retrenchment one, I'll go last come, first go. I cannot retrench whosoever I feel like. Whosoever last come, first go, the list will be prepared. Then I will go by that one. Then it's almost like permanent. Our relationship is ending. At the day of retrenchment, you will get 1 month notice salary. You will get your PF. You will get your PF. You will get your gratuity. You will also get 15 days per year for a retrenchment compensation, similar to gratuity. In layoff, you get 50% of your salary. In case of retrenchment, suppose you work for 15 years, you are getting retrenched. Like gratuity, you work now 15 days. Same like here also, you will also get 15 days retrenchment allowance. You will get 15 days retrenchment allowance. You will get 15 days gratuity. You will get your 1 month notice salary. You will get your pending leave, everything. Everything will be given to you at one go. That is because we have to say bye-bye. There is one class which is unpracticable. If at all I start the business, I have to give you first choice in recruitment, which never takes place, which nobody bothers. But that is a law. Have I answered your question? Now you are clear about retirement. So the retrenchment is a dangerous class. If you wrongly terminate people, they say it's a retrenchment. You are not paid the retrenchment allowance. Now you know the definition of all four, right? Retirement, resignation, termination, retrenchment. Supreme Court said once, what is the meaning of retrenchment? Supreme Court has given a definition of retrenchment. You know that, can you imagine? They given a judgment. What is the definition of retrenchment? They given other way around. Everything is retrenchment except retirement resignation. They didn't go into detail. Because a lot of litigation has come, they said, okay, we make the case simple. Anything, everything is retrenchment. Except retirement and resignation. You know, sometimes this judgment goes berserk, kill you. And that the judgment comes from the Supreme Court means you cannot do anything. There's nothing more than that. Understood? Only one more concept, you listen and go. This guy is running. Huh? OD to gone your OD. Let me complete to judicial review. Law. You are ready to sit, I'll give you. But you guys may. Okay. Relating to law, there's one more thing you should know. Judicial review. What is judicial review? Which is called separation of power. All these things will help you a lot in your life, in your career, right? Not only as an MBA student, I hope. I hope so. Okay. What is judicial review? What is separation of power? It's related. Under the Indian Constitution, you have three wings. Legislature, executive, judiciary. Indian Constitution is the best constitution prepared by Dr. Ambedkar by borrowing principles from 18 Constitution that time. That was the best constitution one could prepare. One reason is that he prepared a separation of power. He prepared balance of power. He prepared a one check on the other. Like for example, law can be prepared only the authority of the legislature, parliament. Supreme Court cannot prepare a law. Right? Executives like president, governor, IAS officer cannot prepare a law. They will have to only execute it. Okay. So suppose the legislature has got full power to pass an act. Tomorrow the legislature says, this year onwards we are passing, Income Tax Act says minimum income tax 30, maximum 60%. Act has come. What will you do? I am the authority. I have passed the law. Income tax, all of you are doing very well. Now, the minimum income tax is 30, as against 10. Maximum is 60 to be implemented. What will you do? This is where it's called judicial review, ultra virus. In such case, you can go to High Court
Or Supreme Court.
High Court or Supreme Court, saying that the act passed by the legislature supposed to be within the power, which is ultra virus. So this act has to be set null and void. This is called judicial review, balance of checks and power, ultra virus under the Constitution. Vice versa. I mean, whatever the law, state legislature, central legislature can pass, one has got, if there is a merit in it, you cannot go and challenge every of the act. Tomorrow they make it sales tax to such a abnormal pay. Or tomorrow they make a minimum salary from, instead of 20, they got it 50,000. You know that I was in one's wage board for a long time in covering a big industry. We fought tooth and nail on the wage board. Cannot increase the salary. If we increase the salary, inflation will pick up. So we given that kind of theory. So you don't have the right to increase the salary, minimum salary. Otherwise, politician will always think, give more salary to get the vote bank. So we fought tooth and nail, went to the court. You don't have the right to increase the salary beyond this level. If you increase, inflation will follow. The whole country will jump. So at the cost of other people, you want to do it. This all comes under your separation of power, judicial review, ultra virus, which everybody should know. In most of the company, especially as a COO, you can play with this act very well. Whenever governments with nonsense notifications, this thing, take shelter in that one. I'm good at it. I used to dealing with a lot of excise. The excise commissioner and all, no IAS officer, they will not see any logic. They will see more fun to go. Every year they will come and increase the tax abnormally. They'll put transit wastage money, storage wastage money. It's a damn it, some spirit and all will get lost scientifically, transit and store. They'll say, no, if there is a wastage, you pay 2% excess duty. So I went to Allahabad High Court. It's totally law. We are the first one to got the stay. Yes, if there is a spirit which is stored in us, especially countries like India, there will be some way evaporation. They will say, no, if there's an evaporation, you pay duty on that. So if you know this law as a businessman, as a COO, you can really take a tough stand on that guy. That's law. Over. Has gone everything. Though we have tried to cover up many things, we did cover up. I hope it went into your head to a large extent. What else? You want still OD? I'm okay. You will not take OD, I know that. Because this is important for me to cover it up. This question is coming. This is most relevant. OD and all you can even pick up in some other classes, some other time. Okay. Though it's very important, OD. That is called systematic change management, plant management on a research base to solve a problem in a proactive, development oriented, not in a control oriented. Okay, yeah, 3 minutes I explain you. What is OD? Suppose the night shift, my production goes for a task. Organizational development training. Okay, this was supposed to be training class, yesterday's class. Okay, I'll make it short for you, 5 minutes. Development, OD related training, which is becoming very, very popular in all the multinationals. Because suppose yesterday in the factory, production loss happened, raw material wasted, not machine utilized. Today morning, meeting, cross-functional meeting, review meeting. What will you do? You'll fire the production guy, production manager or general manager or shift engineer, production engineer will do that. Because they have to safeguard. I am as a boss, plant president or a president sitting there, night has gone, which is recorded, lot of loss, the owner will not spare you. So to save my position, I'll sack you. Do something. That is a traditional way of doing it. OD says, please don't do it. What OD says, that this is a control-oriented approach. It's a dominated approach. Take a positive, development-oriented approach, a research-based approach, plant change approach. How? The OD guy, there has to be, what are the conditions? There has to be OD specialist, somebody who done a lot of management, lot of law, lot of psychology. That guy will be the boss, not the plant president. He is called OD consultant. He will pick up all the people involved with production, not only production guy, supply guy, raw material guy, mechanical guy, labor contract, HR guy, everybody will come. Because the wastages come not because of the production guy alone. Maybe the raw material supplied itself was wrong. So because of the raw material not correct, the machine started misbehaving, making tablets and all those things. Machine is getting output. So you are unnecessarily there. So bring in everybody and tell the people in a positive, conducive manner, not firing, not this kind of thing. Train them. Please, you guys define the problem systematically. You are the potential people. I'm not firing. I'm not commanding. I'm developing you. I'm involving you. That could happen. Nothing. It's a part of the business. You people diagnose what all could be you first define the problem. What happened? Why happened? How it could be avoided. In the process, I will give you a lot of training. How to analyze a problem. Like yesterday I told you, how to work in a team. So the OD guy will work in a very cohesive manner to help this team, core team people involving production, supply, HR, everybody to list down 10, 20 points. Then say, okay, out of 20 points, there could be 5, 6 points. Then 5, 6 points, we start training them, do them. So once we do it, this is going to improve long term. This problem will not continue long, will not repeat it. People are happy. If you do OD in 10 places in an industry, in a year or two, the industry will not have any such problem. One, there will be no stress, no firing, no politics. So OD is getting a very big, this thing, this is the latest one. There's a guy called Kurt Lewin, write down, K-U-T-L-E-W-I-N, Kurt Lewin. He has presented me this bottle, but he did not given time to consume it. Kurt Lewin, K-U-T-L-E-W-I-N. Unfreeze, freeze, refreeze. Unfreeze, freeze, refreeze. Meaning by whenever problem comes, don't go mechanically firing, shiring, and all those kind of things, which is the easiest thing to do. Unfreeze psychologically. Freeze, understand diagnostically. What could have gone wrong? Nobody is doing purposely do that kind. Okay. So this is the OD concept. Clear? This is called OD. This is called sensitive training. This is called more on psychological. The plant change, systematic change, involving client into the change process. So there's a separate course on OD itself. I mean, you people should do in Coursera and things like that. That's a very good point. In my life, in my lifetime, in one place, in sugar industry, season 24 hours it works. Off season, we do all the analysis of why the breakdown had taken place. Okay, because we cannot afford breakdown during the season. Any breakdown means extra fuel. I don't know how many of you engineers understand that. The cane comes, crushes, the bagasse go to the boiler creates steam, the steam goes to the turbine creates electricity. So we balance the power by our own best of the system. So if there is any breakdown means every time I have to give extra fuel to run the boiler. Every season crores will go only in buying lakdi and wood and boiling it. So we cannot afford it. So even otherwise breakdown cannot happen. So what we do is we have a separate team like youngsters like you, 24 hours. They'll only watch why breakdown, what to what. Due to civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, whatever reason that guy is supposed to only monitor. Huh? Yeah, lean. He will not find out anything. He will only monitor it. Though we have all the marker, everything, but this guy will also go, educated guy, is the software is to a civil, electrical, mechanical, motor failure, pump failure, whatever reason. I come to the last in one of the season when we analyzed it, 30% of the time breakdown. That was the first time I took that was already sick industry. When it's in 30%, when I did all the analysis, there was no civil, mechanical or failure. There was a failure of bearings. In the sugar industry, there are a lot of motors. Unfortunately, for each motor, they have an extra motor also. If this goes immediately, they can do. Even after that, there's a breakdown. When I come to know that, the guy who was buying CP Singh, supply chain manager, used to get a special increment because he's getting bearings, escape bearing on credit basis. And that guy is a big cheat. He, along with the fitter, they were not really getting the original bearing. They were getting a duplicate bearing. Otherwise, no bearing guys will pay you on credit. You have to pay in advance, then only material comes in. Here I've seen through IIT and I found out something is wrong here. When I found out how come, the guy will say, oh, he's getting a bearing, 60 lakh, 70 lakh credit, we don't even pay. That was a single, culprit for the breakdown. I said, no more buying from that guy. We'll pay advance. We'll pay 2% advance to the inspection authority to certify it's original. Next year, the breakdown has come from 30% to 5%. So all those things can come in if you have a OD diagnostic approach, plant change manager approach, unfreeze, freeze, refreeze approach. Not that all the time firing, firing is the easiest one. Can you go into diagnostic end? That's the background of OD. Covered also? Okay. Anything else? All of us can go? Good. At least now I can. Huh? Almost we covered. So, yeah. Sorry? Online student, we are through?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
They're already
Yes,
through.
sir.
They're already through.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you very
guys.
much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hi, most welcome. Oh, this one.